Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. For the second straight game, Junie Mobley led the Buckeyes in scoring. For the second straight game, the Buckeyes got a win at the shot. Mobley's 28, combined with 26 from Bruce Thornton, powered Ohio State to an 82-74 overtime win over Minnesota last night. 3 Buckeyes scored 6 points off the bench. Ohio State improves to 13-5 with the win, 5-3 in conference play. They'll play at number 3 Michigan Friday night. On the ice last night at Nationwide, the Blue Jackets fell to the Senators 4-1. The loss snaps a 4-game winning streak for the CBJ, who dropped their first game with Rick Bowness on the bench. Jackets are back at Nationwide Thursday hosting the Dallas Stars. In the NFL, former Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel removed his name from consideration for the Browns vacancy. He'll join Jim Harbaugh in Los Angeles to be the Chargers' new offensive coordinator. This update is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. BMI Federal Credit Union's been voted best credit union for the past 8 years by CBUS Top Picks. Visit bmifcu.org today.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
Hey, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. Jake Trotter going to stop by at 10:30. Adam Jardy at 11:30 on Buckeye Hoops. Nice win for them last night. Big one coming up on Friday. Get your Hey Guys questions into the fellas at 971-BFS. You can do so in the YouTube chat as well. We will get to those coming up at 11 o'clock. A little higher, lower coming up at 10 o'clock. And so that is your menu for today. There is, you guys are familiar with the legendary HBO show, The Sopranos, right? I was talking to Dylan in the crossover with the boys there, and he said he had just finished Mad Men, and now he's starting The Sopranos. And it got me thinking about The Sopranos, and obviously he's going to enjoy that. There's a great deal of jealousy I have of someone who's embarking on one of those type of shows from the beginning, knowing what's all in store for them. But there was a line when Tony and Paulie Walnuts are down in Miami on some business, and at this point, spoiler if you're Dylan and listening, a slight spoiler here. It feels like for Paulie that he's going to end up getting whacked by Tony basically the whole trip that he's down in Miami. And they even take a fishing boat out. And I think Tony probably considered it at some point because he was the true definition of a psychopath. It doesn't end up happening. But that scene before they get on the boat, there's a dinner scene from the night before. And Paulie Walnuts is telling these stories over and over again. And he's getting laughs out of the people. But you can tell Tony's annoyed by basically everything Paulie's doing at this point. And Tony says to him, "Remember when is the lowest form of conversation." And the reality of the hit of that is probably some truth to it. And as we age, and certainly we all do, the idea of remember when becomes a bit of a crutch. It's also a warm blanket, would be my counter to it. And as we sit here on just this January 21st, and you play the Remember When game in this town, and you think about how things can be when they're going right. I've long said, as long as I've been on air here, I've said this, the job of the Buckeye men's basketball team and the Columbus Blue Jackets is to be relevant in January. That's it. That's the job. Be in the mix. Be a team that this city can grab, that can grab this city by the throat when the football season ends. Well, the football season is over. It's longer than it's ever been, but it's over now in terms of the college side. Obviously, just 3 games left on the NFL side of things. And so your job is to be relevant here. Now, it's even more special, and this is where the remember when part comes in. It's even more special when they're not relevant, but they're elite. Now, the Blue Jackets have never been elite. We don't have any idea what that looks like or what that will look like. My hunch is when that happens, and it will happen, that when that happens, this city will have a fever for that, unlike much we've seen. That there will be a bandwagon of the tens and thousands that will jump on. And they won't, everything, we saw a little taste of it with the playoff victory over Tampa. That's really all we have. So we hold on to that like grim death, but that was pure magic. If they ever get to that, to the point where they are one of the clubs, like if they ever have a start to the season the way like the Colorado Avalanche are having, I mean, you can't even put that into perspective. Now, the other one we've seen. We know what it looks like when Ohio State basketball is at the top of the sport. If you are of a certain age, you can go all the way back to Jimmy Jackson. If you are of a certain age, you can go all the way back to Clark Kellogg, but certainly the Jimmy teams in the early 90s. You had the Scooney Mike run. But really the longest sustained success was the Thad run, which the Connolly Oden started it, and then it really went all the way through Deshaun Thomas's junior year, Aaron Craft's junior year. That whole stretch of basketball, they made the NAT once, did win it, but were tournament teams, were Sweet 16 teams, got to a Final Four, played in a national championship game. That was electric. And what Buckeye basketball became during that time, that stretch, and it's, 06 to 13, somewhere in there, 14, that 7-8 year run, which I don't know if you can ever get back to that, because I don't know if you can ever be elite at both simultaneously in an NIL era while also having 36 sports. That's a conversation for another day. But you probably remember Duke coming in here ranked number 1 and Ohio State being ranked in the top 5, thinking this feels like a preview of a national championship game. And you probably remember LeBron James and Dwayne Wade sitting courtside. You probably remember that. You probably remember, if you're of a certain age, the shot packed to the rafters to see games. Bo Ryan coming in here with those Wisconsin teams and the juice that came with that. Tom Izzo coming in here with Michigan State with Draymond Green and going, this is a heavyweight fight. And we would break down those games the way we broke down Ohio State, Michigan. You'd spend an hour on them. AR and I would do it. We'd spend an hour on the this play here, and this led to this, and this coaching decision, and all of the things that come with it. But the onus to have that type of discourse is on those two teams. It's on them. Because what is plainly obvious around here is if they don't, there is a diehard minority that loves them both. But in terms of crossing over to the masses, it just doesn't happen. The masses demand excellence. They demand it. The diehards will go to everything. Bake's going to go to every Blue Jacket game he can. He doesn't care. I mean, he cares if they win or lose, but he's going to go to every single one. There's some of you out there listening right now who will watch every single Ohio State basketball game. Some of them are buddies of mine. I get texts from them. You watching this? No. I mean, I was last night, but sometimes no, I'm not. Because it doesn't feel like it's something I have to watch from start to finish all the time. It's their job to elevate to that point. Both are trying to. They're damnedest. But that's the spot we're in. And we've been in this spot with the Blue Jackets really entire existence. We've never had them be elite, ever. Ohio State basketball, we've seen what it's like when it's elite, and it's magic. It's magic. And they're trying to get back there. They're not there yet, but they're trying. And so we wait on them a little bit, fellas, when you think about the dialogue around those two teams.
I remember even when, like, Kelvin Sampson had a couple of years at Indiana, where, like, those, I mean,
yeah.
it was what I think for Ohio State was there was just that period of apathy that kind of sunk the program from a fan interest perspective. And I don't know if that's caught up with the Blue Jackets. It's an incredible thing for the Blue Jackets because they're always packing Nationwide Arena. Last night, didn't Baker look to be on the TV, that many fans in attendance? But I think for games against marquee opponents, like, you're always going to pack that building. And I think that's what's so important about what for the Jackets and even for the Buckeyes, who that's a 2-game win streak. And now you've got what I think might be a little momentum for the rest of the month. Now you've got a buzzsaw in Michigan on Friday, but you get to do that up in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
But for both of these squads, you get to kind of march into February saying, hey, there's hope at the end of this.
And I think last night with the Jackets and the Buckeye basketball team, it sounded like both, the Jackets crowd was one of the smaller ones of the season and one of the quieter ones, and the team didn't really give them anything to be loud about. But it sounded like the atmosphere at the Shot wasn't great last night either. So you've got them both playing in town. Maybe you took some people from each that would have been there without. Bo, this is such an interesting conversation that me and my dad have all the time because my dad is a diehard golfer and will watch everything golf. Like, he loves watching live golf. He'll watch all of it. Mm-hmm. And he would always get so mad that the golf broadcast would talk about Tiger Woods, even when Tiger Woods was not around. Mm-hmm. He was like, there's so many good young golfers in the game. Tiger's not even playing. He's not relevant right now. Why does anyone care? Well, he was relevant because he's the only thing that moves the needle. And golf isn't worried about you. Golf has you. Golf needs to get me. They need to get the fan that's just kind of a casual fan. They need that fan tuning in. And we've had some people on our YouTube chat, and I love the YouTube chat that we have now because you can get instantaneous feedback. You can also get that with social media too, right? But we've had people over the past couple of weeks, a few like, oh, you've got a Buckeye basketball game tonight. Why is nobody talking about it? Oh, you got a Blue Jackets team that just made a head coaching switch. Why is no? Well, because we have numbers that say around here, Ohio State football is king and the NFL is number 2. And unless the Buckeye basketball team or the Columbus Blue Jackets are doing something extremely special, it doesn't behoove us to talk about it. And I would sit here and talk about Blue Jackets, as you mentioned, 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
I love it. But I also understand that the vast majority don't care unless they're giving them a reason to.
Yeah, I don't think Ohio State basketball ever recovered from that 20 teens apathy.
Yeah,
and that's still what you're dealing with, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a hole that they, you're still trying to dig out of it. And but now, and I think this is the case with both of the two things we're talking about. When they're great, you made the point about the Blue Jackets being full. There's 20,000 people that are going to go watch those games every single time they're played, or thereabout. And if they're not in the building, they're watching it on television. 20,000. There's over 3 million in the metro here. If they're great, that crossover goes from 25 to 50,000 to 250,000, and then you have something. That's the job. We don't know what that's like. We know what it's like in basketball. It's been a long time. Maybe they're heading in the right direction. Nice recruiting class. Some stars starting to play well. We'll get into that. Get into what happened last night on the ice as well. It's coming up next. We're off and running on a First Friday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Chris Stapleton's All-American Road Show. Saturday, August 1st at Paycor Stadium with special guests Lainey Wilson and Alan Stone. Chris Stapleton's All-American Road Show. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Hey, everybody, it's Berm here. Jeremy Birmingham from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. Listen, if you told me 4 weeks ago that I'd have lost 27 pounds, I would have asked you if I lost a limb. But here I am, 27 pounds down in 4 weeks and all my limbs intact, thanks to Awaken 180. Where'd that weight come from? My waist? I'm already down 3 notches on my belt. My face? Yeah, I can see my jawline. That's pretty cool. You don't gain 27 pounds in a week, so you don't really notice when the weight creeps on. But if you drop it quick, doing it the healthy way, you can watch 3, 5, or even 15 years of weight gain disappear just like that. The Awaken 180 app keeps me on track, and my coach, Mandy, ensures the weight keeps dropping off. But the results on the scale are the true motivation. I'm becoming a new me and don't miss the old me or my approach to food and health. Well, maybe cheese on a burger, but that'll be back as soon as I'm on the maintenance part of the plan. That's the thing. You give up a tiny amount. In return, you get everything. Do what we all did and make your 180 with Awaken 180. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Your mornings are jam-packed. So if you're going to add anything, make it your favorite bite from Tim Hortons. Buy any size beverage and add a daily baked donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. It's the best way to add more to your morning. The 1-2-3 menu, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra exclusions and terms apply at timhortons.com/offer-terms.
Now's the time to buy or renew your 2026 dog licenses. Not only are dog licenses required by law, but fees support the Franklin County Dog Shelter and Adoption Center. Buy or renew your dog licenses today at franklincountyauditor.com.
Matty Ice here. It's a new year, so why not start it off with a new car from McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion, where the savings are rolling all month long. You can lease a brand new 26 Chevy Equinox LT for just $279 a month for 36 months with $3,369 due at signing, or if financing is more your style, grab it for only $399 a month for 96 months with $1,000 due at signing. Terms and restrictions apply. They're just off Route 23095 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
At St. Jude, every innovation we make is a moment we give to children with cancer everywhere. But we can't do it without you.
Learn more at stjude.org.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
It's easy to think of winter as a time when not much is happening in the landscape or in the pest and disease world. However, there are a couple of services that can help your trees and shrubs during the colder months, like horticultural oil and anti-desiccant applications. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org to learn more and to find an ISA-certified arborist in your area who is trained and has the proper equipment to perform your tree work safely.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We will see scattered rain and snow showers on and off throughout the day today. Otherwise, cloudy skies and highs soaring into the upper 30s with breezy winds. For tonight, becoming partly cloudy overnight with lows down into the 20s. We'll still have gusty winds that will continue into our Thursday. Otherwise, it'll be mostly sunny with our highs right around freezing. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion. I have nothing else to say. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, and whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
We'll start on the hardwood. The nice win against UCLA becomes a have-to-have win against Minnesota yesterday before heading to Ann Arbor to take on Michigan on Friday. Wolverines ranked third in the country in an 8 p.m. I do like these. I like these Friday night Fox college basketball games. I found myself getting sucked into one last week. I think it was Kansas and maybe Iowa State that they ended up watching. And I do. There's a little juice to it. Friday night is a time for me with the kids and stuff where I'm bouncing around looking for something, and I got sucked in. So that's exciting that you get a Friday nighter on Big Fox and you get all that comes with that. But so much juice to that game is off if you lose last night, and you damn near did. They held on. They battled. They got a little bit fortunate at the end of regulation, and then they won it in overtime, and they did so. And Reese, you've been calling for this for a long time, and I think a lot of us have. Like, you need Junie Mobley to be a superstar. You really do need that. Like, he's the best shooter that you got, and you need him to be big. And he was really good last night. And in the end, you end up getting a victory that you had to have. Here's Jake Diebler on grinding out a win.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. We work really hard on end of game situations. We work really hard, and last 2 minutes of the game, last 3 minutes of the game, and I'm proud of the way our guys battled and executed down the stretch, and both sides of the ball.
In terms of what went well in the extra session, because a lot of the momentum went away towards the end of regulation, here's Jake on that.
Yeah, it was all coaching. Yeah. Listen, I think our execution was really good. Our execution was really good. We got a couple deflections, I think, in that stretch. Our defense did some good things. But this team has continued to get better in those situations, and we've spent a lot of time practicing those. So I think our guys are really comfortable in the moment. And we again, I just felt like we were aggressive. We were attacking. We were playing to go take the win, not like kind of sit back and hope we don't lose. And that's what we've been really trying to build throughout the culture and DNA of our program. Like we are attacking, we are going to go take a win and not the other way around. So I thought our guys did a great job with that. It's becoming more and more of who we are, and we're going to need it more, right? We know we're going to be in these situations again. And so proud of the way our guys executed.
You saw a little bit more from the bench last night, too. Colin White with 19 minutes. Nagovin went with 16. Cupps had 14. They only gave you 6 points, but they gave you minutes, which keeps everybody from playing 35-plus. Now, Royal, Thornton, and Mobley, they're going to play 40. Just is. They can't get in foul trouble. They got to continue to play. All of them were good again. 16 for Devin, 23 for Bruce, 26 for Junie as they get the win, including 5 threes in that one. Go ahead, Bick.
And maybe more than the points on the bench side of thing, Ugovin gave you 9 rebounds. And this is not a great rebounding basketball team. They really don't have a big-time inside presence. So those 9 rebounds might have been the most important thing off of that bench last night.
Yeah. I mean, this matchup with Michigan on Friday is going to be brutal. Their length is going to be a big problem because we get real small real quick when we have the 3 guards in there. And defending that Michigan size is going to be a problem, Reese.
Yeah, Mobley last night, 5 of 11 from 3. He's going to have to be 11 of 11.
Yeah,
because the Buckeyes just struggle so much against teams with legit size. And you talk about the 9 rebounds for Ugovin. You had to have those. In those moments when he can come in and spell Bynum for a bit or spell Tilly for a bit, that has to be there if this team's going to compete. UCLA beat Purdue last night.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going in feeling like you're the worst team in the world, but everything has to go right for Ohio State and everything has to go wrong for Michigan Friday night. But this has to be the formula where Mobley's your alpha, Bruce and Devin Royal supplement.
Did you see Mick Cronin?
At the end of the last night's game?
Yeah.
I did not.
He treats every big... So he complained about the Big Ten schedule, where they've had to play and all of that stuff. Dude, the Big Ten didn't take you hostage. Okay, they did you a favor because USC, at the time of expansion, needed a dance partner. And so they said, we need to have somebody in our city. Please take UCLA too. And so the Big Ten was charitable, and they took UCLA. I don't need to hear about how you don't like the scraps.
I mean, that athletic department for the Bruins is hemorrhaging money.
It has for years.
Is there anybody in college sports right now that whines more than Mick Cronin?
No.
I mean, every game he's complaining about something.
Yeah. I do. One thing I will give him credit for, I like Jake in the suit again. Jake's in the suit now. He's done it a couple games in a row.
You can't not wear the suit now.
He said his bosses liked him in the suit, so he stayed with it.
I assume that's his wife.
Or Ross. Maybe Ross told him, hey, that
I'm
looks
guessing
good.
It was Jordan. Would be. His wife was an intern of mine. Both Diebler boys married Channel 10 interns. So maybe one of them forced him to wear the suit. I like the suit, though. I like coaches in suits. I'm getting tired of the quarter zip and sweatpant look that so many of them are wearing. So,
and we love quarter zips on this show.
I love a quarter zip. Wearing one right now. They're incredibly functional. I just like my coaches in jackets and ties. I think it's a strong look when they look that way. Speaking of strong, I did watch. We talked about this briefly yesterday. I did watch Miami Kent last night. So I had 3 screens on. So I had Jackets, Sens, and then I had Miami and Kent because Miami got into the top 25. They're undefeated. That game was unbelievable. It went to overtime. Incredible. If you are looking for a transfer target, there's a kid who's a sophomore at Miami, Ohio named Luke Skaljak who can flat up fill it out. He's a lefty point guard. Really nice player. And he's an Ohioan, kid from Brecksville up in Northeast Ohio. Really good player. That I don't know what the interest would be or how, but he's 6'3", he's got good size, he's a lefty, and he don't miss. He does not miss. He's not their best player, but he's one of their most important ones. And that was a fun game to watch last night.
They're
Jackets
really
was not. They are really good. Kent's really good too. Both of those squads are really, really good.
I did not realize that Miami's coach, Travis Steele, who had been at Xavier before Miami, I did not realize he's John Gross's brother. That's what I heard. He's John Gross's brother. Yeah.
Got to be Step. I mean, I don't understand.
I don't know. That's just what I was looking up some information on Miami basketball.
Really?
And Travis Steele, and it said John Gross's brother.
I'll be damned. And John's obviously at Akron
Yep.
and has done a great job there. Jackets is not good. You're going to lose at some point with Rick Bowness. It happened last night, down 2-1. The kind of the big interest here is what happened to Elvis, who is getting his third straight start and then disappeared.
Yep. They said that he left the game questionable to return with an illness. Rick Bowness was asked after the game if they knew that, and he said, yeah, that Elvis said he wasn't feeling great in the morning, but came back to the rink and said he wanted to play. The first goal Elvis gave up was kind of screened. I don't know if he saw it or not, but it didn't look like he even moved. Mm-hmm. The second goal,
that was terrible.
And that second goal it wasn't just terrible on Elvis, it was terrible on the whole team. Stutzel just was skating a lap around the whole offensive zone and just slid it 5-hole on Elvis. I wasn't sure if they were going to pull. I was kind of wondering if they would pull him anyway. And, I don't know if they were going to or not, but they said it was an illness, so who knows. That was one of the least entertaining, worst aesthetically pleasing hockey games I've ever been to. I think both teams only had 21 shots on goal.
Yeah.
22 something. It was just not, there was no energy anywhere last night.
Yeah. This is the thing with all sports. They're all on the clock. They are all on the clock. And they're all, Dami used to say this was 15 years ago, he was on point with it. It's all the entertainment dollar. And in those days, what he was talking about was, all right, I'm going to spend money to go to a game, or I'm going to spend money to go to a movie, or I'm going to spend money to go out for dinner, I'm going to do whatever. It's all fighting for the same entertainment dollar. Sports are the same as everything else. The other thing sports are fighting for now is our immediate attention. And our immediate attention is being pulled in a quadrillion different ways. I mean, I'd sit there with a 14-year-old, and unless I take his phone, which I do a lot, he will not, his attention span, I would say, is less than 7 seconds. If whatever he's watching on the television, if we're watching sports, if it has his attention and it's got about 7-8 seconds to have his attention. If it doesn't, then he goes right back to scrolling on something. Like that's just, and that's normal. And that's not just 14-year-olds. That's adults are doing the same thing. So you have a job to do. You're being compensated richly to show up and show out every single time. And it's not usually as big of a problem in the NHL. It's a big issue in the NBA and has been for about a decade. The weight, the rest management, all the stuff that's happening. The amount of people I know in the last 10 years whose kids for their birthdays wanted to go see Giannis or Luka play up in Cleveland, and those guys were given load management days on those home games. It's a long list, very long list. And the same thing, it doesn't happen as much in the NHL. There isn't really load management in the NHL, and you rarely get it. That's one thing about hockey. Usually you drop the puck, because it's a collision sport, you're going to get full effort. Last night was one of those ones where it went the other way. Go ahead, Reese.
Are you going to see your Lakers next week in Cleveland?
No.
You play the Cavs.
Yeah, they do.
Could be a game. I don't know if it'd be fun.
I don't know what would. I am such a creature of habit. I don't know what would get me to engage on something like that. Like probably, maybe if somebody was like, "Hey, you want to sit courtside or something like that," I'd probably do that. But
it's a 7:00 on ESPN.
There you go.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Who do you think sits?
Well, does LeBron play?
I don't know.
Does Luka? I mean, that's the problem with that league. Who's playing? College football doesn't have that problem. The attendance is always going to be there. The audience is always going to be there. And the passion's always going to be there. And in the case of the Big Ten, the hanging banners is going to continue to be there. We'll get to that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Men, the new year is here. And if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, programs, and more. Designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements. More energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or visit tristatemenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Always still look at myself as a high-performing athlete, even at 40 years old. And so I want to go able to run and run fast and do things that I could 15 and 20 years ago. And it was getting to the point where the pain was starting to limit that.
Pain attacks people from all walks of life, not just former professional athletes like Bobby Carpenter. That's where QC Kinetics non-surgical treatment steps in.
And now that the pain is gone, I've been able to go and do the stuff that I love and run fast and run sprints and try to get back to where I was.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments use your body's own healing properties to deliver long-term relief without surgery.
Now, being able to go and work out and do the stuff that I want to do and challenge my body, it's made me a better person, a more pleasant person to be around.
Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
All right, here's what's up on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. College football season in the rear view. We have the national championship game Monday to thank for that. A lot of dialogue around the Big Ten and its spot atop the sport. Our good buddy Paul Feinbaum, who will join us tomorrow at 10:30, we'll discuss with him where that particular conference that he spends the majority of his time talking about goes from here. Some comments from Nick Saban this week as well on the Pat McAfee show about how the Big Ten and the pay for play and how it's leveled the playing field. I got news for both of them. I think we have entered a new era of college football, and not just because the Big Ten has won 3 straight national titles, but because when you look at the odds for next year, the Big Ten is very well represented again in the national title hunt. Ohio State 13-2, Indiana 7-1, Oregon 7-1, Notre Dame, which might as well be a Big Ten team, 13-2, USC is 30-1, Michigan is 40-1. Everything that Nick Saban is saying is mostly true. When you take a behavior that was happening underneath the table for generations in the South, and it was happening up here too, but it was harder. It's harder to do up here than it was down there. When you take a behavior that was happening underneath the table for decades, for generations, and now say all of that's legal, and you can spend whatever you want, whenever you want, and create a true free market, which is what we have in college football at the moment, the places with the most money are going to win. And what we've seen here in the last couple of years is a shift to northern money and southern oil money. There's a direct line in terms of competitiveness, in terms of who's winning, in terms of who is going to continue to win. And that line is drawn directly from the programs that are enriched financially. I mean, the names that I just gave you, Buckeyes, Irish, Hoosiers, let's even have some fun with some of the SEC teams. Texas A&M, Texas Tech, these guys are all in there. Miami, we know they're willing to spend. Oklahoma, USC, Michigan, these are have-nots, but there are some new crashers to the party in the sense of Indiana, Texas Tech, Notre Dame. Oregon's been knocking on this door for almost 2 decades with Phil Knight. Think about how sick he is. He's been chasing this with money and coaches for 20 years in uniforms. Indiana flipped this thing in 2 years and won a national title, which is a holy grail he's been chasing for a long time. But heck, he could start next year at Oregon ranked number 1 in the country. The Reader's Digest version of this here, guys, is get used to it. The Big Ten's not going anywhere. And quite honestly, there's some Big Ten teams that have yet to really benefit from this in terms of wins that have the financial wherewithal to do so. Penn State can do that. Penn State's got a lot of money. Nebraska, if they ever mobilized, think what Nebraska could do. If they ever mobilized, what they could do financially. You think it's hard to get people to go to Lubbock? Give me Lincoln over Lubbock. I mean, they're both remote. If you can get that roster to Texas Tech, you can get it to Nebraska too. You just got to get people to do it. And if you're looking for programs that aren't going to be able to maintain this, the chief among them is Saban's former employer. And I think that is as big a reason as anything why he got out while he did. Because he could see the writing on the wall. He knew they couldn't compete financially. Knew it. They don't have a list of billionaires that they can go to. Think about Michigan State. They got 3, and 2 of them don't like each other. And the way that they combat each other is to see who can give the most to the other's to the same university. Think about that Michigan State situation. Ishbia and Gilbert can't stand each other. They both love Michigan State, both donate bigly. They can play them off one another. And neither one of those are even the guy who are doing the $400 million for the football renovation.
I did a Google.
Get used to it.
And Jimmy Rain is the richest person in Alabama. He's worth $1.2 billion. Great Southern Wood Preserving is his business. He's an Auburn grad.
That's funny. I was going to bring that up. I didn't know the guy's name, but it's a very good job out of you, Reese. That's the other sneaky part about Alabama. Auburn's wealthier.
I think Nick
Auburn's got
Saban
more money than Alabama.
And his Mercedes empire in Alabama might have the most money to provide to that program.
They just don't have it. Like Georgia don't. You got to have consistent booster give a damn that is triggered and ready to fire. You have to have it. And the Big Ten has it in spades. If you were to invest in, you could invest. I could talk myself into investing into any number of 10 Big Ten programs in terms of their continued success in this thing. Can you imagine if NIL was available when Kevin Plank and Under Armour were hitting on all cylinders and he was throwing all that money around at Maryland?
Oh, baby.
I mean, that's the T. Boone Pickens of the Big Ten. Those are the programs. Get used to it.
I'm curious to see what Pat Fitzgerald's length, what his leash is going to look like. How much rope does he have to give that $400 million investment a return? Like, does Michigan State have to? Because that's a portal roster they're going to field.
Yep.
Like that's what? Yeah, that's all portal. That's all portal persons. And how much can they stand? Because Pat Fitzgerald's not just going to be nice to them. Like, this feels very much like when Urban came to Ohio State and was telling all the Tressel guys to get out of town. Like, he's going to be tough on them. And in a portal era like this, how is that going to stick on the roster? And then when you bring guys in, if Pat Fitzgerald's going to be the Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern, where does success need to come on the field for the Michigan boosters who put that kind of money, the Acrisure people, to put that kind of money in again? Because that's kind of the ask, right? With Indiana, you had Cuban with a lot of money last year, and then everybody said it was a real nice gift he gave us this year. And it's like, okay, the ask gets more every year, so long as the wins are there. And I think so long as the wins are there, these billionaires are happy to do it.
Yeah, they
Michigan
want their ROI.
State, I'm really interested in.
Michigan State is super intriguing moving forward. The thing you said, I believe it was 2 days ago on the show, Reese, about Signetti saying $10 billion to Cuban is like $10,000 to himself, really struck with me because, man, if these guys that have it makes a difference, right? When you have a guy like this and you just sit back and you think of Ohio State, and yeah, there's a lot of boosters out there that want to be involved in Ohio State and want to give to Ohio State and have given a lot. But I don't think they have that one. It's just anymore. Like, $10 billion's no big deal.
Yeah, not like that. Not like they used to, for obvious reasons.
Or 10 million, I guess, is what I mean to say. But.
Yeah, not like they used to. There used to be, you make a call and you can, there are a couple guys you could call and you could get a quick shot in the arm. Now it's a little bit different. There's still a lot of money here, obviously. It's a massive city. I think probably the most similar, I mean, we're not quite there, but probably the apples to apples for Ohio State on a spending, if you're looking for like a Southern comparable, it's probably Texas and LSU. Those are probably the two that you're always going to be in the mix with, and those two aren't going anywhere ever. There isn't like what Texas Tech has, where you have a single guy who's like, I'm going to make this my mission to win a national championship at Texas Tech. You don't have that. And LSU's got that a little bit with the Raising Cane's guy. I mean, there's a little bit of that with him, with how he's doing that. Miami they had that too with Ruiz, where he's like, this is going to be my mission. Like, we're going to get them back in a second. Just think look at what's happened at Notre Dame. Like, just think of the combination of having Marcus, what he represents, the way that he recruits, and you think about if you get a shot in the arm from that fully mobilized, like, think about how mobilized Notre Dame's going to be. They just watched Indiana win a national title. Can you imagine the brain F that is for them? Like,
can't be a great feeling, especially getting left out of that same playoff.
Yeah.
Knowing the year prior you bested Indiana on the football field.
Yeah.
And it wasn't particularly a close game.
No, and I'm sure Marcus is sitting there watching. He's doing the halftime show, and I'm sure he's sitting there watching it going, we're better than this. We're better than them. He didn't get the chance to prove it, but is that something that gives that alumni base and those boosters a shot in the arm to say, well, if Indiana can do it, we're going to do it. What do you need, Marcus? Let's go. Like, that's the type of motivation that I think happens with boosters around the country.
And I also think you can, with the right staff in place, can find a happy medium to where you're not getting those gigantic checks from one person, but, with Ryan Day and his staff have been able to sell the NFL thing. Like, can Indiana really sell? And I think that's where you can get over not having the one phone call, $10 million check kind of person. Ohio State doesn't have that. Ohio State likely will not have that. But what they can offer is the argument that you will go and play on Sundays. And some of these schools are still trying to find their footing with that. So there is a pushback to the, hey, we're just going to throw a bunch of money at this. If you're not getting guys to the next level, then it never won't matter how much money you can throw at something, because you can always throw enough money at some problems to make them go away. But to stay in that fight, you have to offer other things. And I think that's where Ohio State's uniquely and almost perfectly situated right now.
Mm-hmm. And it's just funny, we're talking about all this and the money it takes for the rosters. Then you get the news that Ohio State is putting a new billboard or video board in the shoe in the north end for next season, a new scoreboard, hopefully, in the south end zone for the following season. The shot is 30 years old. The shoe is over 100 years old, and you're always going to have to keep doing renovations to it to keep it up to code. There's just... We're just talking about rosters right now,
dude. And it's I drink your milkshake, right? That's what it is. There's one milkshake, and there's more and more straws going into it, but the milkshake all comes from the same spot, and that's the problem. That's the rub. Is how do you have enough money for all of that? Baker Mayfield, Kevin Stefanski, D. Orlando Ledbetter. I know them all. I know every single person involved in this. We'll get to it coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
Right now, save on new 2026 Tucson with 0.99% financing for up to 60 months. Columbus or Dublin or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit. Ends 2/2.
It's a new year. Ready for a fresh start or career reboot? At My Computer Career, prep for a more recession-resistant future in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, in months, not years, including AI. Whether you're starting out or switching careers, no prior training is needed. Attend school online from home or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu to take the free career evaluation today. mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
It may be winter outside, but inside the Ohio Expo Center, it's golf season. The Columbus Golf Show is back for 3 days only, January 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Save up to 70% on golf equipment, accessories, and apparel, even vacation packages. Test the newest clubs, compete in skills competitions for great prizes, and get a free lesson from a PGA pro. Come tee it up indoors this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center, January 23rd, 24th, and 25th. For tickets, go to columbusgolfshow.com.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you're cold in your home, even with the heat on, your old windows are the problem. Window Nation makes it easy with their Buy 4, Get 4 windows free sale. Plus, you could get no payments, no interest for 2 years. Hurry, the sale ends soon, so schedule your free estimate now. WindowNation.com.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun, and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
For the past 100 years, Shriners Children's has become family to over 1.5 million kids.
In tough times and good times, they're there when we need them most.
Please go online right now to loveshriners.org.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
The best hair on the air. You are listening to Bishop and Friends.
No, there's a lot to this. So, most of you out there know the history of Kevin Stefanski and Baker Mayfield. Of course, Baker Mayfield drafted and immediately played for Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson doesn't make it the full season, so he is then coached from an offensive standpoint by Freddie Kitchens. The Browns hire Freddie, make him their head coach. It goes not well, and they pivot to Kevin Stefanski. Year one, go to the postseason, get a playoff win against Pittsburgh in the postseason, and are a Chad Henne scramble from playing potentially in the AFC Championship game in year one. Year two, it goes really bad really quick, and it starts to deteriorate, and you end up in a spot where Baker is jettisoned and Deshaun Watson is signed, and the rest is certainly history. They are now in the same division. Kevin Stefanski is the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, and Baker Mayfield, of course, the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. D'Orlando Ledbetter is a long-time beat writer for the Atlanta Falcons for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. He is a great dude. He's not a good dude. He's a great dude, and has been around and is beloved in that area. He tweets out yesterday, and to be fair, D'Orlando chose violence. He chose violence first. There's no question. Now, he chose violence against a guy in Baker. Well, I'll get to that in a second. Here's the tweet from D'Orlando. Kevin Stefanski had a dumpster fire at quarterback in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson failed, which started a chain reaction to 11 other starters. Quarterback Shedeur Sanders closed out last season with 7 starts. The dumpster fire is where your antenna is going to get up when you hear that. So, and failed is another one where you're going to hear that. So Baker, who has his antennas up only always, if you slight him from a cave in Burma, he will hear it. He will hear it. He will see it. This is just who he is. He's one of those guys who grew up on social media, and it wouldn't surprise me if he has notifications when his name is tweeted. It would not surprise me at all. So Bake gets wind of it, and part of this makes him why some people really like him and like the experience of him, because he's got this in him. Baker then quote tweets it. Failed is quite the reach, pal. Still waiting on a text call from him after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach, is the response from Baker. Now, knowing a little bit about Baker, he is probably the best and worst athlete that I've ever covered or known in my life in terms of reading headlines, reading when his name is mentioned, and slights perceived or otherwise. He is also very effective in this role to a point. He likes it. Baker Mayfield is probably the biggest chip on my shoulder athlete of the last 15 years. This is what he is. Everybody doubts me. Nobody believes in me. This goes all the way back to recruiting. It goes all the way back to Texas not offering him. Hell, Oklahoma didn't offer him either. He ends up at Texas Tech as a walk-on and then walks on at Oklahoma, has to prove himself there. There are attributes to him and his journey that people find so appealing, and it's that. It's the fact that he fought for every single thing that he had and had one of the greatest college quarterback careers of all time and is having a really nice NFL career. Is he number one overall pick worthy? No, probably not. Is his ceiling a top 10-ish quarterback at his best? Yeah, probably. But he's also not he's not the 25th quarterback in the NFL ever either. So he's that guy that's kind of in the middle. And this is what led to kind of all of this. The stuff with Stefanski's been well documented in terms of how all of that went down. We can talk about it if you want. But I also think that this is what makes people who love Baker love him. It makes what people hate Baker hate him. And I also think that this guarantees that this game is going to debut Sunday Night Football, or it's going to be in a big window on that very first weekend. They'll open with each other.
Yeah, you've added a lot of juice to a what I'll call juiceless division, because there wasn't really any national interest outside of you and your kid having to pay up for the Carolina Panthers winning the NFC South.
Thanks, Reese. Thanks.
Now this becomes kind of a national thing because you have Baker bros all over the country. Because from his time in Cleveland to his time in Los Angeles, now his time as a $100 million quarterback in Tampa, and you got people that hate Baker Mayfield all over the country. Going back to his time in Norman, he's one of the more polarizing figures that you have in the league, good and bad.
I love Reese choosing violence like these guys choosing violence. That was
well, tell me why I should care about the Buccaneers and the Falcons now. Here's why you should care about the Buccaneers and the Falcons now, where I haven't cared about an NFC South game until this year, and for the reasons I mentioned.
I love Baker. I don't know if I'm a Baker bro because I realize there's a ceiling to him. Mm-hmm. And I've always realized there was a ceiling to him. I was always someone, even when Baker was having his success, and in hindsight, this was wrong, but I was one of those ones when Deshaun Watson was available that said, go get him. Now, I would have never given up what the Browns did, and I would have never given him that contract either. But I was one of those, hey, maybe you can get him and maybe you can reach another level that you can't with Baker. Baker, I believe, is a middle-of-the-road NFL starting quarterback. Mm-hmm. If you give him a playoff team, I think he'll get you a playoff team. I also think Baker has to play with an edge. He has to be the flag-planting, crotch-grabbing Baker Mayfield that he was at Oklahoma. The problem with that is when you are that guy, and we've talked about it with Cignetti, when you're that guy, when things don't go well, you are open for all the slings and arrows. Mm-hmm. And Baker gets those from a lot of people. And we saw Baker, when things are good, like they were the past couple years in Tampa, things are really good. But when they go bad, like they did at the end of the year in Tampa, it can be really, really ugly. And Cleveland Browns fans will always have an affinity to Baker Mayfield because he was always, even though he was the number one pick, he was always kind of portrayed as the underdog. And Cleveland always feels like the underdog. And he opened the victory fridges and had them a targeting call away from playing in the AFC Championship game. Cleveland hasn't had anything like that in the past 30 years. So
I'll say this. If D. Orlando Ledbetter is going in for a performance review at the beginning of the year, that tweet right there and everything it generated yesterday is deserving of a raise. Because that's understanding the assignment to the best level I've seen so far in 2026.
Yes. Yeah. He's a great dude. Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes I wonder, if Bake just would have had Kevin right away. Like,
Probably.
right away. How does that change? Because so much happened there in all of that time. So go ahead, Big Quick.
I always wonder if they would have hired Greg and just kept Freddie as the offensive coordinator, what it would have been. Because Freddie, it went off the rails with Freddie. And Freddie was his guy, but...
Yeah. I think hiring Greg is one thing. I think Freddie as offensive coordinator had a very short shelf life, no matter what. Like there was going to become, I mean, he was running Haley's offense that year where the interim, when he was doing his own thing. And by the way, he hasn't landed a job like that since. I think he's a volunteer assistant with Clemson now. And Freddie's a good dude. I'm not choosing violence against Freddie, but in terms of like what he's capable of, I mean, just look at what's happened since, and you kind of get a sense of that. We'll do a little higher, lower coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at Tri-State Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Tri-State Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. That's tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations in the area to serve you in Hilliard and Westerville.
Your mornings are jam-packed. So if you're going to add anything, make it your favorite bite from Tim Hortons. Buy any size beverage and add a daily baked donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. It's the best way to add more to your morning. The 1-2-3 menu, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra exclusions and terms apply at timhortons.com/offer-terms.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Want big flavor and even bigger value? The new $9.99 value meal has arrived at Hothead Burritos. Get your choice of a customized, loaded little burrito or bowl with fresh chips and salsa plus a drink, all for just $9.99 today. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some.
Day 1, the hardest day. The day you hear,
this is a type of blood cancer.
At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1. To learn more and get help on any day, visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This is 100% employee-owned now. It gives them a sense of pride.
It's always been a family business. We've benefited as owners from the work of all of these great employees for so long. Well, now everybody's an owner, so now everybody has a stake. It really is the culmination of the family business. The family just got bigger. We all know there's a difference between working for a paycheck and working for something that belongs to you.
Rosati Windows, locally made, expertly crafted.
Hey, are you driving high right now? You might be, because a whole lot of people do. They say marijuana makes them a better driver, more careful, more focused. That's probably what the guy who killed a 4-year-old thought. And now, he's in prison. You see, no matter what you tell yourself, if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The basketball Buckeyes are on a 2-game winning streak. Ohio State beat Minnesota 82-74 in overtime last night. Junie Mobley led with 28 points. Bruce Thornton had 26. Ohio State's at number 3 Michigan Friday night at 8 o'clock. On the ice last night at Nationwide, the Ottawa Senators beat the Blue Jackets 4-1. Elvis Merzlikins got the start, allowed 2 goals in the first, and did not return to the second, reportedly due to illness. The Blue Jackets are back on home ice on Thursday, hosting the Dallas Stars. In the NFL, Mike McDaniel will become the new offensive coordinator of the LA Chargers. McDaniel pulled his name from consideration for the Browns coaching vacancy. Cleveland is one of 6 current openings. The Athletic says former Giants head coach Brian Daboll will be the Titans offensive coordinator if he doesn't land the head coaching vacancy in Buffalo. This update is sponsored by Germain Toyota. For unbeatable service and sales, visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net.
After putting up with Tom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
Jake Trotter coming up at 10:30. Time now to do a little higher or lower. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present higher or lower.
Oh, one more time.
That's beautiful.
Kind of like college football, this song's owned by the Big Ten. What was once the SEC's is now property of Tony Petitti.
I like what you did there, Reese.
We
even took their song.
Everything. Everything the SEC once had is now the Big Ten's. We're taking your portal persons. We're taking your winning. We're taking your national championships. We're taking over your bowl games.
We'll take your defensive linemen.
Iconic
corners.
music that really, I mean, everybody identified this forever with SEC on CBS, and now no longer. Now you cannot. And even when I read the AP Top 25, the final AP Top 25 of the college football regular season, you'll understand why it's the Big Ten. And then there's everybody else. Because at number 1, with 66 votes, there are only 66 votes, the Indiana Hoosiers. At number 2, Miami. At 3, Ole Miss. At number 4, Oregon. At number 5, Ohio State. Higher or lower for thee at 5?
Should have been 3. Obviously, what they did here is I'm taking a look at this now. They clearly just went for like how far you went in the playoff. There's no nuance to this poll at all. Obviously, this poll doesn't mean anything, but just from the standpoint of there's quite a bit of sloth involved here with the AP voters to not have a little bit of critical thinking. Like there isn't anybody on the planet that would pick Ole Miss to beat Ohio State. There isn't anybody on the planet that would pick Oregon to beat Ohio State this year. Ohio State should have been number 3 on this thing, and then I would probably say a conversation between Ole Miss and Oregon at 4. But they definitely should have been number 3. I think you lost to the 2 best teams in the country. And I think you had a chance, certainly, to beat both of them, but I'm not going to do the thing where Miami deserved to. Miami was better that night. They were the better team that night. Indiana's a little bit different conversation in the Big Ten title game. Either way, you can't take it all back. But at the same time, Ohio State's third best team in the country. They should have finished the year third.
Yeah, I'm with you, Bo. Those two teams in the title game should be 1 and 2. Ohio State lost to both of those teams in close, hard-fought games. So I don't know how you have. I understand these guys are taking the easy way out and just saying these guys lasted longer in the playoffs. Yada yada. That's lazy. Ohio State was there. I think the 4 best teams in the country were the 2 that played in the national championship game: Ohio State and Oregon.
I think you're probably right.
At number 6, Georgia. At 7, Texas Tech. At 8, Texas A&M. 9, Alabama. 10, Notre Dame. Higher or lower for the Irish at 10?
Obviously higher. This is another example of that laziness that I referred to and Bake just added on to. It's how in the heck is Alabama 9? I mean, you want to talk about the wheels coming off. The wheels came off at Alabama as this season went along. I mean, they lost in the SEC title game. Then they lost again bigly now they did beat Oklahoma in between, so I guess that's why you have to have them ahead of Oklahoma, but you can't have them ahead of Notre Dame on this thing. I probably wouldn't have them ahead of BYU, and if you look at what they were at the end, I'm not sure I'd have them ahead of Texas. Like, they were a mess as the season continued on. It's honestly stupefying they beat Oklahoma in retrospect. And by the way, I don't think you're going to be in a situation you see Alabama up here for a long time. I think Kalen DeBoer is in the worst spot in the country. And the reason I would say that is because there was a thinking when he took that. It's always going to be tough to replace a legend. Like, nobody really wants to do that. You want to be the guy that replaces the guy that replaced the legend. So not only was he having to do that, he's being held to an impossible standard of success that is not duplicable down there in an NIL world, and they don't have money. So they're not going to be in this scenario. He should have bolted for Penn State or Michigan. He should have got the heck out of there if he had the opportunity to. And probably if they lost to Oklahoma in the playoff, he probably would have. He probably would have been the head coach at Michigan right now. That feels like it would have been the case. I think he knows it. He's too smart of a guy. He's too good of a coach. But you're never going to change the expectation there because it's always going to manifest that you're the reason we're not great anymore, as opposed to everything else.
So I understand that Oklahoma beat a lot of teams that were ranked at the time they played them, and they ran through a gauntlet early in the regular season. But they also had 4 losses, and they got their doors blown off by Georgia. And the last time we saw them, they got their doors blown off by Indiana. The next 4-loss team in the poll is Iowa at 17. So you're telling me Alabama with 4 losses should be 8 spots higher than that? Like, there's no justification for Alabama to be this high.
None.
Back to the final AP Top 25 of the 2025 college football season. BYU comes in at 11. Number 12 is Texas. 13, Oklahoma. 14, Utah. 15, Vanderbilt. Higher or lower for the Commodores at 15?
No, they're fine. I'm done with their operation. I think that's a fine spot for them. They can stay right down there. How did they do? They lost head-to-head to Texas. Did they play Oklahoma this year? I can't remember if they played them.
They did not.
Okay. Yeah. Did Pavia play in the bowl game for them?
I don't believe so. Oh, he did.
I think he did. Yeah, I thought he did. Who did they play?
They played Iowa.
And who won that game?
Iowa.
And then the funny thing, remember the SEC always does that thing about bowl games. Oh, we don't care about bowl games unless they're the national title. Well, you don't play for those anymore.
So I was going to say Vanderbilt was fine right here, but they just lost to Iowa.
Who comes in at 17 on the final AP Top 25.
So, yes, they should be lower.
So Virginia's...
What was the sense in this? I mean, obviously...
this is an assignment that's due at the end of the day. I'm just turning it in.
Yeah, I always took this very seriously, though. I did this for 2 years, the AP, and I took the final poll very seriously. Like, I really paid very close attention to the rankings. I knew it set up how they kind of view the teams for next year, like how you finished the year before. There's historical significance. Maybe when I was covering Florida State, they had that stretch of like 13 years where they finished in the top 4 in the country, and it was something that there was a great sense of pride. So maybe I put more of an emphasis on this than the current AP voters do. But to me, like, you should really be paying attention to these details. And that one Bake just picked up on is a pretty big detail.
There was I've forgotten about this because it feels like it was a year ago, but that scuttlebutt with the one reporter in Los Angeles who has an AP vote and basically said that none of this matters. Like, she does not care about it at all. And I wonder how much that feeling permeates the rest of the AP voters, where it's a nice feather in the cap to have the vote, but the actual work itself isn't very important to them.
It should be.
You're right.
And there's only 66 of you doing it. Like, this isn't, there's 800-900 people who do the Heisman. This is 66 people.
Because it unfortunately gets lazier on this. As I say, I was at 17. 18's Tulane, 19 James Madison, 20 USC, 21 Michigan, 22 Houston, the Navy, North Texas, and TCU round out the top 25.
I forget, like, isn't it amazing? Like, before, as you're reading Tulane and James Madison, I'm like, oh yeah, they were both in the playoff. They both were in the playoff. Like, we forget. I like, oh, I just had to be reminded that they both were in the postseason. Tulane against Ole Miss, and James Madison went out to Oregon, actually covered. Yeah, I mean, I'm the rest. I mean, it's just at the end of it, it's one of those things where it's like, what difference does all of that make? But I'm not one of the 66 that's voting. I assure you, if I was, I'd be paying attention to all of this stuff in terms of where these teams shake out. Like, for example, for Navy to finish the year ranked 23rd in the country, for North Texas, for Tulane, James Madison, that's something you hang a banner for. Those things don't come around that often. Like, that's really important stuff for those programs.
Reese, to go back to what you were talking about with the AP voter, that was earlier this year, Haley Sawyer, who USF beat Florida, and she had Florida still at number 14 and, like, didn't have USF ranked or had them ranked way behind. So that is what that was. What was our school in question on this one?
All of them?
Oh, yeah, just all of these guys?
7, yeah, I just did the 17 through 25 and said they just wrote teams down.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's what they do here. It really is so hard, I think, for these guys, especially towards the bottom of this list, with how many people don't play in bowl games, how many teams want to be there, how many don't. I do believe, though, as we talked about with that Vanderbilt and Iowa one, most of their guys played. I think that mattered to them, so I think that should matter into the poll. It's interesting. Do they just keep Tulane and James Madison in there because
they made the playoff?
They were in the college football playoff?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if Tulane or James Madison is one of the top 25 teams in the country, but they were in the playoff. Let's just leave them in.
I don't think either one of them is better than Illinois, Washington, or SMU.
Yeah, Illinois getting 123 votes, and the others receiving votes category. But, like, yeah, there are teams that are in the 20 to 25 range. I'm like, I think Illinois is better than them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so, too. All right, is Ohio State better off now than they were before the portal opened? We will get to that conversation coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Wake up with The Fan. Eat lunch with The Fan. Go to bed with The Fan. Dream about The Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Getting the cold shoulder? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
It's really been amazing, the amount of people that I've had contact me, and the talk is generally centered around QC Kinetics, and whether it's a knee, whether it's a back, a hip, shoulder.
He's always happy to talk about how QC Kinetics all-natural regenerative treatments finally gave him relief without surgery. That's former pro football player Bobby Carpenter.
My message to them is do not wait and push off a week, a month, whatever it is. So if you want to feel better this summer, now would be the time to get in. If you want to feel better in the fall, make sure that you're getting in here so you can go out and play golf and do the things that you love and enjoy.
Spoken by a man who experienced relief firsthand. QC Kinetics gave this former pro athlete back his mobility, his activity, and they'll do the same for you.
Has really helped me in just my general quality of life.
Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Hey, it's Anthony, and of all the things you think about for a new year, the one thing that should be right at the top of your list is comfort and foot pain relief. I've told you my personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store have made a massive difference in my life every day. Every time I leave the house, I feel supported, aligned, and I know my body is going to feel better. Not just my feet. My knees feel better. And of course, my lower back. They are so much different than just the over-the-counter insoles. My Good Feet arch supports are designed to balance and strengthen my feet. And I always feel like my feet are being guided into their ideal position. They're strong, supportive, and flexible. I will never wear a pair of shoes without them. When you go to the Good Feet store, you'll get a comprehensive foot analysis by their trained specialist. You'll get a digital foot scan that helps design your personal arch support system and, of course, any follow-up support you need. They have more than 3 decades of helping customers. Make an appointment right now online at goodfeet.com. Good feet, good life.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Morning Juice is now on YouTube, weekday mornings starting at 6.
If you're a fan of Bobby Carpenter, he's ready to attack and dominate.
If you're a fan of Jeff Goodoff,
drive directly to a hospital.
Seriously, The Fan.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We will see scattered rain and snow showers on and off throughout the day today. Otherwise, cloudy skies and highs soaring into the upper 30s with breezy winds. For tonight, becoming partly cloudy overnight with lows down into the 20s. We'll still have gusty winds that will continue into our Thursday. Otherwise, it'll be mostly sunny with our highs right around freezing. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion.
I have nothing else to say.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie. And once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
Then this is the radio show for you.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are. We're proudly brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. Easton Sawmill. They will take care of you. I assure you of that. Buckeye football appears to be relatively set for 2026. Now, you're going to still see some additions that of guys who are currently in. What was ended up being our total tally of those still available? It was still more than half. Wasn't it, Reese? Over 3,000 were in, and upwards of $2,000 were still homeless.
So that was what On3 had been reporting. As of right now, they have 3,313 players into the transfer portal since January 2nd. 2,102 have committed elsewhere, so that's 63%.
So roughly 1,500 players are without homes as we currently stand. The other thing that we don't know in any of this, and I guess this is part of the factoring that you have to do as well, is where are you from a scholarship standpoint? That still it matters, especially to the bottom third of your roster. Like, where are you on your 85 scholarships? what's that number look like? What's that? We don't have any point of reference on that, because obviously the amount out for Ohio State is less than the amount in terms of bodies. Tony Gerdeman put a great stat together on the production that was gained just in the portal. This is just portal. This doesn't consider like the guys who went to the league, of which there are great and first round guys who went to the league. So it doesn't concern them, but just from a guys who went in the portal versus guys who they have coming in, they brought in proven commodities. So in terms of loss, you lost 111 tackles in the portal. You gained 473. Tackles for loss, 7 lost, 44.5 gained. Sacks, 3 lost, 16 gained. Rush yards, 674 lost, 675 gained. Receptions, 45 lost, 245 gained. Receiving yards, 469 lost, 2,749 gained. Touchdowns, 8 lost, 35 gained. Starts, 32 lost, 147 gained. Now, what you're losing here, and this is the one thing that we have to also acknowledge, is if Quincy Porter becomes a superstar, then you lost that. That's gone. If he becomes a superstar at Notre Dame, that's part of it. Same thing with Mylan Graham. Those guys, if the two corners, Scott and West, if they become stars at their new locations, then that's the thing that you're trading in college football right now. You're trading potential that potentially could be higher. You're trading potentially a higher ceiling for known. For known. We talked about this last week. Developed here is largely over. And what you're going to get is, it's Missouri. It's show me state. You're proven, we have an interest. And so that's what happened this offseason at Ohio State. You traded potential, guys you recruited, guys who had been developed to a certain degree. You traded that for known, guys who had proven themselves at other places, and that was the swap. Did it work? You're not going to know for sure until you get to that daunting schedule that's going to be in front of them next season. But one thing you can say right now, absolutely, is that it did, because the way that this program is thought of and perceived and viewed in the way too early top 25s is consensus top 5 and favored to go win the national title. So some of that is Ohio State, some of that's Jeremiah Smith and Julian and Bo and all that other stuff, but some of it is the holes that you filled with the known look pretty dang good to everybody else.
And I think schools are going about it one of two different ways, right? Where they're going the Ohio State route, or they're going to, we're just going to reload portal potential. Guys that had 4 or 5 stars next to their name in high school that we were in on, we lost out on initially, and now they're seeking either a bag or a place to play. And we'll offer them that. Like Texas Tech, Indiana, Texas A&M, Louisville, top on threes transfer portal class tracker. Like they ranked them, those 4. Like next season, Indiana, because they won it this year, but Texas Tech will be back because it's the Big 12, and who knows what the hell that conference is going to look like. But A&M and Louisville, you want to buy stock in those teams right now? Over a school like, to your point, where that brings back all of that offensive production like in Ohio State. And Ohio State didn't have to get into bidding wars with anybody. It certainly wasn't interested in doing that. I mean, from a fan standpoint, I look at all of this, and I think to myself, I'm much more concerned if Ohio State brings back Matt Patricia than any of those players they lost in the portal. That's where that hierarchy would be for me. I'm more concerned about Ohio State bringing in a proven NFL play caller as their offensive coordinator and let Cortez Hankton and all of the other offensive assistants develop players at their positions and do the recruiting than I am any of those guys that were lost in the portal, because it wasn't Jeremiah Smith, it wasn't Bo Jackson, and it wasn't Julian Sain. Most of the defensive guys, they're going to the NFL. And so we're year 2 of, you got to replace so much talent to the NFL. Ohio State did a pretty good job with that last year.
We've talked about this. It's just a way we've been trained with college football. You recruit athletes, you develop athletes, and then they become stars for you. It's going to be interesting to see what a Fahim Delane's career is versus, say, a Terry Moore, who you brought in to be a starting safety. Some guy that's had proven production against a guy who, and listen, the Ohio State coaches had these guys in the room.
They know.
They know if these guys can play or not, or if they feel what they wanted money-wise was worth their play compared to someone else. It was Tony Gerdeman of Buckeye Huddle a couple of days ago on Twitter put out, he called it a portal aftermath, comparing what Ohio State lost to what they gained. Tackles, they gained 473. They lost 111. Tackles for loss, 44.5 to 7. Sacks, 16 to 3. Rushing yards, 675 to 674. Receptions, 245 to 45. Receiving yards, 2,749 to 469. Touchdowns, 35 to 8. Starts, 147 to 32. So you definitely got a more experienced team coming back next year than you would have, and experience the last 3 years is what's won national championships.
Yeah, I mean, when I used those stats a second ago, and the reason that you say is you traded developed here for developed somewhere else and proven. That's what you did. They swapped it out, and we won't know. You're not going to know. You used Fahim Delane. I used Quincy Porter. Like you could, Mylan Graham. Like those are guys who you think about Scott and West. Like they probably were going to be starters. Here's the other thing, and I mentioned this last week. These guys are represented by agents. What's the only way for them to be compensated? A new deal. A percentage of a new deal. So everyone wants a new deal, and sometimes the grass isn't always greener. I mean, I don't know if in some of these instances, who knows if Quincy Porter always wanted to be a Fighting Irish? Or if it just was a circumstance where more money, a chance to go and capture that and be for sure going to be a dude, did that outweigh it? But it could have just been a money thing. And by the way, there's still going to be some high-end shopping in this portal. There are still 2 5-star players in the portal and a 4-star edge, and they are critical positions. These guys are going to be big game hunting. Now, I have no idea how they're keeping any of these kids eligible. I don't know that anyone's even concerned about that. But like Jordan Seaton from Colorado was compensated. He was a 5-star kid out of high school, compensated richly by Colorado, and he's in the portal. And he is a plug-and-play left tackle stud. Like he's a first-round NFL talent. He's in the portal. Who's got the extra money and the spot at left tackle to come grab him? The Ole Miss defensive end, Princewell Unamanalayan, in the portal, 5-star. He's in there. Damon Wilson, another edge from Missouri. He's in there. 4-star guy, 1 spot below Chaz Coleman in these rankings, right?
Didn't he just commit to someone, Wilson?
On 24/7, I'm on it right now. I don't see anything with that. Maybe it happened in the last 2 minutes.
Okay, maybe it was...
Wilson's trending Oregon, Princewell's trending LSU, for what it's worth. And these guys are all and they should take all of these visits because that's how you leverage in negotiations. So, yeah, it's still TBD on those.
Yeah,
Same
there's
with
still guys
Darian
out
Mensah.
there.
Like, Darian Mensah is about to go to court.
Yeah. And guys, by the way, we're talking at the high end of it. There's still 1,600 guys that are in this thing. So you can fill the roster. It's going to be a buyer's market is what's going to happen. What some of these cats were demanding, they're not going to get. And so you're going to be able to get some of these guys at discount. It might be old school. Like, I just need a scholarship, coach. I just want to play ball.
And some of these guys may have played their last down of college football.
Absolutely.
Because they may not have a seat.
Yeah. I mean, they may have to go down, too. You may have to go FCS, may have to go Division II. You need to find a home. I mean, imagine putting those rosters together as you're trying to poach. The thing that's going to get hurt in all of this is going to be the high school kids. Because if you are think about what's that power up in Northeast Ohio, Division III, Mount Union. If you're Mount Union and you used to have places for high school kids to be developed, wouldn't you just live in this world? The Division I transfer kid who can't find a home? That's a pretty good world to live in if you're those. If you're Montana State, like, do you need 20 kids in your recruiting class? Or do you just say, man, give me the cast-offs from Oregon and Washington?
Those would be plenty good enough.
Yeah.
To win at that level. It's like, it's not even a joke anymore. We're like, what about that OU to Ohio State pipeline? I'm like, no, I think that's where college football's going.
That's where it is. That's where we're at right now, and there's a trickle down to all of it. Go ahead, Bake, real quick.
Would it behoove, like in Ohio State, because we're talking about high school kids and not, would it behoove them to set up some kind of an agreement with like an Ohio Dominican or something like that? Like, hey, bring this kid in, help develop him, and then
players
you just went too far down.
Ohio State's going to have like a minor league system.
You just went too far down, though. Like, just do that at Ohio, Miami, Kent, Toledo, Akron. Send them there, And then Akron, Ohio, Miami, Kent, Toledo, they can send theirs to the Ohio Dominicans and the Wesleyan, like those places.
So we got a true farm system.
Yeah, you got a true farm system. Jake Trotter in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place. And today, we're in my showroom to demonstrate how efficient our windows are.
Whew, it's really cold in here, Wilson.
We call that eco-friendly organic air conditioning.
Drafty windows are a major problem for energy bills and comfort. It's one of the biggest reasons why people get Pella windows.
It really is a problem, Leslie. I'm wearing 3 coats right now, looking like a beanbag with legs.
Get the windows that can completely change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
Do you want free internet forever? Yeah, we thought so. That's why Spectrum is giving you just that. Free fiber-powered internet forever when you switch and get 4 mobile lines from Spectrum. No internet bills, no taxes, no late fees. Just fast fiber-powered internet. Call 833-901-0178 to find out how. But hurry, this deal won't last forever. Once more, 833-901-0178. Or visit spectrum.com/free forever to learn more.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. Let me introduce you to a man with a magnificent salt and pepper beard. A man who's currently roasting lamb on a spit. A man who runs the Rocky River Greek Festival. That man is Jake Trotter.
Indeed it is. He joins on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline every week at this time. College football season is in the books. It's the dream season for Indiana. You've observed all of this, my friend. It's going to take some getting used to, but I think obviously we have to. The improbability of Indiana winning a football championship is what to you?
It's the new era of college football. And I think we're going to have more parity going forward, not necessarily parity where you would expect it, but with the portal, with NIL, there's going to be opportunities for other programs to make similar moves overnight. So I'm curious to see who the next one will be. But I think what Cignetti and Indiana showed is that if you get the right players and the right coach, anything is possible in college football.
You and I talked about this a couple of years ago, even before we knew that Cignetti was going to land the plane on all of this and go undefeated and have a perfect season and national championship. We talked about that model, right? And Oklahoma State followed it. You look at their roster, you look at what happened in the portal, and they took North Texas, took the coach, took the quarterback, took a lot that happened, but it also happened at a bigger level. It happened at Penn State, too. Matt Campbell took upwards of 30 players from Iowa State, including the quarterback, and Penn State is going to start. Now, Iowa State's talent isn't Ohio State's talent, but they're older, they're veteran, he knows them. To me, he's starting on second base.
Yeah, and part of it with Penn State is the necessity, because they had, one recruit in this recruiting class, at least initially. They're obviously going to be the Penn State Cyclones this season. Oklahoma State, though, I don't know if you've continued to follow. They've got like 50-something players out of the portal. Jeez. Not just North Texas. Like every day they have signed somebody new out of the portal. They're going to have a completely overhauled roster from last year. Like I don't even know, they're going to have maybe a couple returning players off the depth chart from last year. So, yeah, it is going to be interesting. Oklahoma State, they've got, Mestamaker was one of the top overall players available in the portal, and they got all his playmakers and offensive line in there, so that you would think that the transition is going to be fairly seamless, considering it's his system and coaching staff. Yeah, I think that, and we talked about this with Ohio State, Bo. You have to consider, how you're going to allocate resources between high school recruiting and hammering the portal, because you can exhaust a lot of resources trying to sign a top 5 recruiting class. And how many of those guys are going to be on the roster next year from just this most recent class?
I mean, Quincy Porter, Milan Graham are 2 of them.
Yeah, I mean, like, what percentage of the class have they already lost?
So what I think Ohio State's going to do, and I think it's probably a pivot that happened in real time towards the end of the recruiting class while they're preparing for the playoff and as the portal opened, I think what Ohio State's going to do, and I think this is what the schools like Ohio State, and I think Oklahoma is one of those, Texas is one of those. There's some others that are the blue bread programs that are going to do this. I think you're going to take between 15 and 18 in your class. You're going to probably pay for 4 or 5 true difference makers. So Jeremiah Smith, Julian Sayin, like someone who's going to come in right away. But I mean, if you're going to pay a quarterback, they got to start in worst case scenario year 2. In some places, it's got to be Raiola. And then I don't think you're going to see 28-person classes anymore. I think they're going to be much smaller, and I think you're going to supplement portal, and you're going to let other people develop them, and then they're going to come in here. I don't know if you're ever going to see a redshirt freshman quarterback at Ohio State again. I really don't.
Yeah, why would you allocate resources to your recruiting class when let's go get the 3 best players in the MAC, let's go get the best player from Cincinnati, let's poach the tight end from Purdue. That's become an annual tradition, and try to put your team together that way. I think it's ideal if you can, go the Julian Sayin route versus the Will Howard route, because you will have that quarterback for multiple years, and you just would think that you'd be in a stronger position. But last 2 national championship quarterbacks were 1-year transfers. Fernando Mendoza and Will Howard.
Yeah, and to that end, you think about now 3 straight national championships for the Big Ten. You take a look at the odds for next season. The Big Ten is atop all of it. It's Ohio State, it's Oregon, it's Indiana. USC and Michigan are even getting a little bit of love. And you think about the amount of money that Michigan State is investing. We've talked about Penn State. The Big Ten is positioned, despite all of my issues with the leadership of the conference and a 24-team expanded playoff, all that nonsense, because of the wealth of these universities and the boosters behind them, they're positioned to be the kings of this for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's transitioned from where the players are, which has always been Texas, Florida, Georgia, New Orleans. That's why that LSU job was so attractive for Lane Kiffin. Not to say there aren't great players in Ohio and Pennsylvania and Michigan. There's just more players in the South and in California. And now it's less about being next to a recruiting hotbed and just having the resources to go get those players. And you look at Ohio State, their quarterback's from where? California. Their receiving core is from Florida. Their running back might be from Northeast Ohio, but like you look at the team, you don't have to recruit from your state or the adjoining states. You can go get players anywhere. And Nick Saban, he said basically that this new era of college football is helping the Big Ten, and it's hurting the SEC because money is trumping all. And these massive schools, I mean, Indiana, despite their lack of football tradition, they have a massive alumni base. I mean, some of the richest people in the world are alums of Big Ten schools. Michigan, for example, and they have these massive alumni bases that they can tap into to get the money that they need to compete at the highest level. So it's a positive time for some of these Big Ten programs. And if you are Michigan State, why can't Michigan State be the next Indiana? Like they have the ability to invest a lot of money in the program. And Indiana, like, it's not like they've outspent everybody, but they are they're also spending money, smartly, and they're able to get a Fernando Mendoza where that wouldn't have been, possible years ago because A, of the transfer rules, and B, he would have gone somewhere else if he were, a top transfer quarterback on the market. He would have gone to Georgia or LSU or Miami, you name it.
Yeah, 100% he would have. You mentioned Alabama. I think that it's going to be a long winter because they don't have it. Financially, they don't. I think DeBoer's in the worst spot in college football. I really do. I think if they don't beat Oklahoma in that playoff game, he's probably the head coach at Michigan. I just think there's no path for him to have success there because they do not have the finances. Buddy, they have less money than Auburn in their own state.
Yeah. And they don't have the magic elixir anymore, which was Nick Saban. They're not going to be able to, out coach people the way they were before. You were bringing up a good point about, next year we have Indiana preseason number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would agree with that, but they got a lot of good players coming back, and they've got, Josh Hoover from TCU to be their quarterback. Notre Dame, even though they're not a Big Ten school, they're number 3. They're a Northern school. Oregon is absolutely loaded for next year with with some of their linemen coming back on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
Plus obviously the quarterback
Dante Moore back,
and then Ohio State. Is going to be, and the other school that I think fits into this is Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Like they kind of got overshadowed a little bit during the playoff, but Texas Tech has gone from a mid-tier Big 12 program to not only did they make the playoff this year, they're preseason top 10 team next year, and they've got they landed Sorsby, the top quarterback available in the portal. They've got oil and gas money that they can spend, and Texas Tech all of a sudden has resources that trump the Alabamas and maybe even the Georgias of the world.
It's a new world. We got to get used to it, and it's not changing. It's going to be this way for the foreseeable. There's an excitement to it, though, I think, because you're going to put a ribbon on all of this. You have that parity that you talked about, where you're going to have upwards of 15 teams who I think can contend because the talent is just spread out pretty evenly. So it's going to be a new day for all of us, my friend. Great talking to you as always, buddy.
Okay, see you both. Take care.
There he goes, Jake Trotter, senior college football writer and reporter at ESPN on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We'll do Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
This is the Daily Show with Coach Jake Diebler, brought to you by Encova Insurance. Well, it took overtime, but Ohio State beats Minnesota 82-74. You have to be thrilled with how so many different people helped in so many different ways in this game.
Yeah, this was a game where we put our depth on display, I thought, and we had some guys really step up and do some big things, particularly, you got to highlight Colin. Big-time steal finish, and then the rebounding. Not just the 2 he got, but I thought he kept alive a couple other ones on the offensive glass that gave us some second chance opportunities, a stat we won for the night. So, tough game. Both teams went on multiple runs. We certainly didn't execute as well as we needed to offensively at times against their zone, but we also responded well multiple times out of timeouts and things. So proud of the fight our guys showed. Really, really good win.
All right, we'll have another comment in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the court. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. Basketball is full of challenging shots, and life can be too. With Encova, you don't have to do it alone. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
82-74 the final. Ohio State defeats Minnesota. Certainly you don't want to have to deal with a team's runs, but you had to love how your team reacted to Minnesota's runs tonight, Jake.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we got to find a way to cut that a little shorter, a couple of those. But when we got down there in the last, I don't know how many, 6, 7, 8 minutes, we had some high-level possessions. And there were times where I thought we settled a little bit offensively, guys, and then when we got to playing through the pain, it was really good for us.
I know we talk about Bruce Thornton all the time, Coach, but when you look at his stats, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, 42 minutes. I mean, what else can he do for you?
Yeah, I don't know if I can keep asking him to rebound better. Maybe sustain what he's doing. But, you know, you look at, we had 5 guys with at least 5 rebounds. Amari, Devin, Tilly, Bruce, and Yvonne. So I thought that was really, really key. You know, we won the battle on the glass. We had more second chance points. Some really good stuff to take from this. Got to keep growing and learning, though.
It's the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Around here, it's all-wheel drive all year round. And Toyota has more all-wheel drive choices than anyone. Now through February 2nd, get 4.75 APR financing on remaining new 25 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid. Or lease a new gas-powered RAV4 LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Text, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
No one plans to get into an accident, but when it happens, we strive in making life easier for you. This is Justin Hinderer. The Hinderer Motor Company Collision Center is ICAR certified and certified by many manufacturers to provide the best quality repair available. All of our repairs come with a lifetime warranty. We have our own 24/7 towing service so you never have to wait. Plus, we offer on-site rental cars for every lifestyle. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Disasters strike, fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. Direct Relief delivers. No politics, no red tape. Direct Relief is a lifeline to people in crisis. So check them out at directrelief.org. And if you can, donate.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube.
What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on the first Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, so there are 6 vacancies in the NFL. Bills owner Terry Pagula and GM and president of football operations Brandon Beane are doing a press conference as we are speaking up in Buffalo. Diana Rossini has the report that if Brian Daboll doesn't land the Bills job, he's going to be the offensive coordinator in Tennessee. We'll start there. Thing or not a thing?
I think and I think that's a pretty wild presser that he's having up there as well, just some of the stuff that's coming out of that. I think if Josh Allen has, my view of this is if Josh Allen has a big say in this, and it sounds, Pagula said that he will, my hunch is that it will be Daboll. And I think could you also see, I know there's some buzz for Davis Webb, who was a backup for Josh and a quarterback at Texas Tech and Cal, and potentially him being the head coach at Buffalo. That could be a situation where Daboll's the head coach and maybe Davis Webb is the quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, play caller situation. That's the way that screams like that's going to go for me up there. So I guess that would be the thing. And then Daboll was linked here a little bit, but there's so much NFL stuff that's open right now that I think Ohio State's going to have to kind of sit and wait that out at the coordinator position offensively.
I think this is a thing for Brian Daboll. He better hope he gets the Bills head coaching job. I don't know how great the offensive coordinator job in Tennessee is. I just don't have much faith in Tennessee's organization, although maybe I don't have any faith in Buffalo right now because this stuff with Pagula is just absolutely ridiculous. They only made the head coaching hire based on the results of the Denver game, nothing else. He saw Josh Allen crying, and that made him want to fire the head coach. Keon Coleman is still on their roster, correct?
He is, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he just blowtorched Keon Coleman by saying that the coaching staff wanted Keon Coleman. That wasn't a Brandon Beane pick. Well, isn't that Brandon Beane's job is to do what's best for the team and maybe not what the coaches exactly want? Maybe Daboll should run to Ohio State because I don't have faith in either of those organizations right now.
Well, the other thing that's crazy about it is he's got Beane sitting right there. If it was Pagula by himself, that's one thing, but Beane sitting right there having to...
And I think that question was asked to Beane, and Pagula jumped in.
He did, yeah. And then I also saw, Beane, went at a reporter.
Of course he did.
His integrity. Good Lord. That's a small market, too. That's not New York.
How dare you question my decisions?
Yeah.
So Matt Perino, friend of the program, covers the Buffalo Bills at Syracuse.com, and he is front row seat in all of that circus. He says, Terry Pagula says the decision to bring in a new coach was based off the results of the game in Denver. Pagula said he saw his quarterback with his head down, crying in the locker room postgame. He said Allen didn't even acknowledge Pagula as he tried to console him. Terry says he felt Josh Allen's pain. Thing or not a thing?
Run that back. Give me that again.
Terry Pagula says the decision to bring in a new coach was based off of the game in Denver. They lost in the divisional round. Pagula says he saw his quarterback with his head down crying in the locker room. Pagula said Allen didn't even acknowledge him as he tried to console him. Terry says he felt Josh Allen's pain in that moment.
So this was a question. I asked this to Vic Carucci, who's been up there for a long time. I talked to him yesterday about all of this, and I just said if Josh Allen wanted Sean McDermott to be the coach of the Bills, would he still be the coach of the Bills? And, of course, there's no way of knowing that, but the simple answer is yes. I think he's the most powerful person in that organization whose last name isn't Pagula. If Josh Allen wanted Sean McDermott to still be the coach of the Buffalo Bills, he still would be. He's complicit in this. That's part of being the franchise quarterback and weighing in on this stuff and your play and all of it. You're complicit in the same way that Lamar's complicit in John Harbaugh no longer being the coach of the Baltimore Ravens. That's coach-driven, that's quarterback-driven. Not to say those guys said, hey, fire this guy, but they could have stopped it if they wanted to. And that's fact. That's just how the NFL is run, especially when you have MVP quarterbacks at both of those spots.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with McDermott's decision to pedal to the metal at the end of the first half there and try to squeeze blood out of a turnip in 16 seconds. But Josh Allen was the one running with the ball carelessly that got hit from behind and turned the ball over. He's also the one that missed some wide open receivers and threw a couple bad interceptions. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks for them being so close and not getting there. I understand the frustration, and I don't know, maybe this was the right move. Just seems like the wrong reasons for firing a head coach.
In both instances, the what if is pretty amazing. If the kicker makes the kick for Baltimore and Pittsburgh, is John Harbaugh still the coach of the Ravens? If that is called a catch as opposed to an interception, McDermott's clearly still the coach of the Bills because they're going to Buffalo to play to New England to play in the AFC Championship game.
Which Pagula said they lost because of a bad call. So why are you firing your coach if that's the reason?
By the way, I think they did. We haven't talked about that much. I think they probably did but that's beside the point. It's really that type of a sliding doors moment with some of these jobs.
Over the weekend, On3 reported that five-star Ohio State receiver commit Jameer Brown plans to play his senior high school football season for Big Walnut. The 5'11", 185-pound Brown is the number 1 recruit in Ohio, the number 3 receiver recruit nationally, and the number 12 player nationally in the class of 2027. Brown made news off the field when his mother filed a lawsuit on his behalf in Franklin County to challenge the OHSAA's prohibition of name, image, and likeness deals for student athletes. Big Walnut was pretty good last season, 12-2. The only losses for the Eagles came week 1 against Bishop Watterson and in the state semifinal game against Cincinnati Anderson. Thing or not a thing?
Well, massive thing to have him here locally. Bake, you're going to have a lot of fun with this on Friday nights with him in the mix. I am curious what the connection to Big Walnut is? I mean, this is in Northeast Ohio and in Southwest Ohio. This is how you end up in Northeast Ohio, Hoban, Massillon, Eds, like those type of places. Some of those are private. In Cincinnati, it would be the GCL teams, St. X, Elder, Moeller, those type of places. So this is, I mean, obviously Big Walnut's a public school, so there must be some family connection there. Do you have any insight onto that at all, Bake?
So we started hearing rumors of this the week of the state championships. A lot of people up in Canton were talking about it. Like Jameer Brown is coming to Columbus. Yeah. He is going to be close to Ohio State this year. I believe it's just where his family decided they wanted to move, where they wanted to live in that area. Now, I don't know if the fact that Big Walnut has been in the state semifinals the last 2 years with a group that's pretty much all coming back as far as Nolan Burley, the running back, and Eli Stump, the quarterback. If that was a reason behind that, just where he wanted to go to a good team and thought, hey, let's move there to play with this team. But it is a situation where his family was moving to Columbus, and I think that's just where they decided they wanted to live. You also had this a couple years ago, if you remember, with Sam Williams Dixon, who has transferred from Ohio State since, but he was from West Holmes, I believe, up near Millersburg. In Amish country, and then I think he came down and played at Pick North for 2 years, but once he committed to the Buckeyes, he moved down here. Jameer Brown seems like he's doing the same thing.
Yeah, could be a pattern for that. By the way, NAL is wide open for everybody, so all these things add up, as it were. Final hour on a First Friday. We kick it off with a little bit of, hey guys, still time to get your questions into the fellas at 971 BFS. We will get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better. Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. One of the great annoyances in life, at least for me, is the check engine light, right? You get in your car, you see the check engine light, and you go, I got to take care of that. I don't know what it is. So you let it sit there forever. It bugs you, and eventually a bigger problem happens. Well, every day in your house, your check engine light might be on, but it's not your engine. It's your windows, because you sit down on your couch, you feel the cold, drafty air coming in through your windows, and you go, I got to do something about these windows. But just like the check engine light, I'm afraid of how much it's going to cost, and I don't know where to go. I can't help you with your check engine light, but I can help you with your windows. Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 Windows free sale is going on now. Stop wasting money by letting the warm air in your house escape through your cold, drafty windows. You're spending more on your heating bills when you don't have to. Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 Windows free sale is the perfect time to address this problem. Plus, 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. That could be yours as well. Schedule an estimate today. WindowNation.com.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver, leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty
a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The basketball Buckeyes will ride their 2-game win streak into Ann Arbor to battle number 3 Michigan on Friday night. The Buckeyes beat Minnesota in overtime last night at the Shot to improve to 13-5 overall and 5-3 in the Big Ten. In college football, the Big 12 will move their conference championship game to Friday night starting in 2026. The 2025 title tilt was Saturday at noon. The game's going to still be played at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. The Big 12 unveiled their entire 2026 schedule this morning. The Big 10 is going to release their fall schedule next Tuesday. It was announced yesterday that Ohio State will play at Indiana on Saturday, October 17th. And in the NFL, former Giants head coach Brian Daboll is in the running for the vacant Buffalo Bills job. The Athletic says if Daboll doesn't get that, he'll become the new offensive coordinator of the Tennessee Titans. This update is sponsored by Eco Plumbers. Get $500 in free plumbing services when you buy a new water heater. Visit geteco.com and book today.
We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them.
Hey, we're not doing all the work for you.
This is Bishop and Friends.
I guess before we get to Hey Guys, since that was the rejoin, should we do we have an email solution for the people?
We do. We do have an email solution. We went ahead and made our very own Bishop and Friends email. So,
Okay.
I mean, this may be the only time we ever mention it. So
I'm never going to mention it again. Yeah.
People need to take note of this and write it down. The new email to reach us is 971bfs@gmail.
971bfs@gmail. There you go.
Correct.
So you want to participate in the mailbag segment, which happens tomorrow. That's where you do it. This you have to take matters in your own hands. MIT kids can't fix everything.
So listen, they're top men, but sometimes even top men hit a ceiling. So we just got to
handle it ourselves.
Us underlings got to duct tape and bubble gum something together.
That's what you got to do. It is a First Friday. Get your officially endorsed at the end of the program. Adam Jardy coming up in 28 minutes on the Buckeye basketball team. Right now, time for a little Hey Guys. Hit it, guys.
Off limits. Your participation is required.
Just use the hashtag HeyGuys and ask anything you want.
Do it now.
So the beauty of the YouTube chat is we can get questions live as you type them.
Real time, baby.
Also at 971BFS on Twitter, similar to where you can now send emails, which we'll never tell you again where to send them. So hopefully you are paying attention. But the good news about our show is you can watch it back anytime on YouTube. And wherever it is you get your podcasts, if you want to listen to the show, make sure you leave a 5-star review.
Please.
If you don't leave a 5-star review, then you can no longer listen to the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's just fair.
I think that's fair.
G-Money in the YouTube chat, he'll start us off. Hey, guys, I'm not a whiskey drinker, but I want to get into it more. What are some approachable whiskeys for a newbie?
Oh, my gosh. I used to have a go-to for this because I used to get this all the time. So I think the easiest thing to do is think of, you need to figure out what type of mash bill that you want. So if you want a heavily wheated mash bill or more of a predominantly corn, obviously corn is going to have to be over 50% for it to be bourbon. Whiskey can be made out of a great many things. But that's kind of the jumping off point. I always used to say, like, grab yourself a bottle of Maker's Mark, Weller Special Reserve, Maybe like I'm trying to think what would be kind of the other end of that. Maybe like maybe a something from Wild Turkey, something like that. Basically, what you need to do is just figure out what type of mash bill that you want. And then once you kind of wade into that gets you started. And if I would say also, like, the more approachable way to drink it the first few times is obviously going to be in an old fashioned or a Manhattan. Both of those are really nice cocktails. And so, like, you try one of those, you kind of get the flavor a little bit and you can kind of have the variety. The one thing I would tell you is if you're just trying to get into it, have it on the rocks to start and let it chill out a little bit, because it can come in pretty hot if you're not used to it without it. So those are a couple of things that you can do, but I think you need to figure out what type of mash bill that you like and what type of bourbon you like, what type of whiskey you like, because it's all subjective. Like, you have to remember with all of this, there is no right or wrong. It's your palate. It's what's appealing to you. There's nothing that I can say like, this is 100% guaranteed a starter, off you go bourbon. It might not work for you. It might be one that does. So I got buddies of mine. There's a buddy of mine who cannot stand Eagle Rare. Can't stand it.
Communist.
Wants to fight him.
He's a communist.
He can't stand it. And I'm like, I think it's pretty good. So, it's in the eye of the beholder, in the eye of the palate. It's just like wine, food, anything else.
So I will tell you, and I'm newer into the whiskey and bourbon game here in the last 5 years. I can tell you exactly the one that got me into it more, and it was Crown Royal Vanilla. I loved the flavor of the Crown Royal Vanilla, and that got me into it. So I would say if you're trying to get into it a little more, try some, and I'm not talking Fireball, but like get some kind of flavored whiskey that you enjoy. I enjoy the Crown Vanilla. I know a lot of people enjoy the peach whiskeys. I'm a big Evan Williams peach when it comes to that. Get a flavored whiskey that you like and start sipping on that, and then you can move to, like you said, a Weller Special Reserve, an Eagle Rare if you could find it. Any of the Four Roses, I think, is a good introducer. And if you can somehow get your hands on the PX Double Oaked pick that we did with High Bank. Now, as you mentioned, definitely put that on a rock because it's high test. Yeah. But the flavor of that is amazing, and I think that would get anybody into it.
Yeah, I think that would too. And on all the flavored ones, if you find one of those flavored ones that you like, here's what you can do. You can do your own. You know how to make vanilla bourbon or whiskey? Take a Madagascar vanilla bean, slice it down the middle, and throw it in the bottle, and you've got vanilla whatever you want. You want to do peach? That's pretty easy to do too. Cut up a peach, take a glass, much like my apple pie bourbon recipe, take one, slice it, stick it in the bottle, and you got peach bourbon. Like, you can do it yourself without their artificially flavored stuff. And the flavor, I think, is even better when you do it that way.
Snagglepuss asks on Twitter, hey guys, if you had to sacrifice one for a full year, which would it be? Pizza or wings?
Wings. I'm not a big wing guy. I'm not crazy about the process. I'm not crazy about and maybe part of that has to do because I have kids. Like, the mess of it is such a pain in the neck from the time that they were little. Most of the time, honestly, they go for boneless wings, which is just chicken nuggets that are coated. They usually go that way. So I could give up that easy. We probably have pizza pizza night once a week as a family. I think once a week you have it. So I would not want to give that up. That's one that's always there. It's reliable. I would not give up pizza for a year.
I will say this. I actually had wings yesterday. I love a fun casual joint as much as anyone.
Yep.
I would easily, I don't know if I could give up pizza. If somebody told me I was going to die tomorrow if I kept eating pizza, I've lived a good life, folks. It's been fun. I love pizza. I could do pizza every day of the week if I had to. So I'm sorry, wings got to go.
What is your guys' go-to pizza style? What is your favorite pizza style, and what are your toppings? Like your go-to toppings.
So I usually like a thicker crust. And depending on where it is, not everywhere do I want pepperoni and bacon, but that's usually my two picks. But sometimes just the pepperoni is better depending on who it is.
All right. Reese?
Usually cracker crust.
Yeah.
Get it from Granddad's or Tommy's. I just got the hankering for, I don't know if anybody remembers Flying Pizza over on Bethel Road that had those gigantic triangle New York slices that they'd bake in the pizza and then they'd put the slices back in the oven when you ordered them.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love a New York. I love New York. And I love the cracker crust, too. I like pub pizza. Pub pizza is great. I like New Haven. I like it thin. The one thing I can't do, I don't like the thick. The only time that I like thick, I still like the traditional Pizza Hut pan. If the boys want to go there, I still like a traditional Pizza Hut pan pizza. The meat lovers there reminds me of my grandpa, so I always love that one. And then like once a year, I'll do a Lou Malnati's order, and we'll have a deep dish from there. But preferably, I go thin. And then my go-to orders from the time I was a kid till now, every once in a while I'll mix it up with a veggie, but the one I go to all the time is pepperoni and mushroom. Like, that's every single time.
Bo, you mentioned Pizza Hut growing up. Did you do the basketball every year for the Final Four?
Of course I did. What am I, hard at getting a basketball at Pizza Hut at the Final Four?
Gosh, those were the days.
Dude, Pizza Hut.
They
you
should
go to
bring
Pizza
that
Hut.
back.
That was dressing up for us. Like, that was a fancy dinner, was Pizza Hut. It was all dark in there. They'd put the pie on the cast iron, and then you got the salad bar. Like, that was a go out to dinner thing when we were kids. When I was a kid, we would just beg our parents, if we made the trip to Great Falls to go get groceries, we would go in there and just beg to go to Pizza Hut for dinner. It's all we wanted to do.
Play a little Galaga, Miss Pac-Man.
Nobody gets hurt. A little grease on the knobs.
Real quick before we dip out of this segment, Phil asks, hey guys, would you rather be a stormtrooper in Star Wars or a hobbit in The Lord of the Rings?
Well, stormtroopers just die, like, by the millions, right? I mean, they just get shot and killed over and over. The hobbits seem okay. I mean, they have, and by the way, like, they kind of have their own universe, right? Like, is it the Shire? And they're all just there chilling? Like, they seem like their situation's okay. They're pretty happy. What's the elixir they always drink? I haven't seen Lord of the Rings in so long. I can't even remember, but I remember they would get drunk on something.
I'm sorry. I think I'm always going to take Star Wars over Lord of the Rings. I think a stormtrooper is cooler than a hobbit, so give me the stormtrooper.
I mean, I just Googled how many people died in the Death Star explosions, and they're talking about millions of people, and most of those were probably stormtroopers. So,
dude,
yeah. Like, give me being a hobbit and just being fat and lazy in a Shire.
Yeah, it feels like a win.
You didn't have to take the ring to Mordor, Frodo, you idiot.
Reese, I've seen you,
could have just stayed at home and been like, eh.
There's no way you could be fat and lazy.
But I wouldn't have anything to, like, I guess, to your point, like, yes. But hobbits don't have anything really to worry about. They can just do their own thing.
Every break, you're in there cleaning something or doing something. Like, you couldn't be fat and lazy.
And that idiot Bilbo Baggins didn't have to go with the dwarves to reclaim the Misty Mountain. Like, they didn't have to do any of that. They chose violence, which maybe I would do. Give me a sword.
My kids have not seen that yet, The Lord of the Rings. My hunch is they hold up quite well, but they have not seen the 3-hour runtime. Maybe with all this deep freeze we're in over the next couple of weeks, we can knock it out a little bit. So, all right, we'll continue with this. Also have an incredible press conference in Buffalo. Some comments from John Harbaugh as well, and we continue with your Hey Guys questions. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Tri-State Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Tri-State Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations in the area to serve you in Hilliard and Westerville.
Mayfield.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, one thing our Pella Columbus team is really serious about is to not be salesy or pushy. We're just here to listen and hopefully make your dream a reality.
Oh, I had a dream last night where I went back in time to a dinosaur's birthday party and had to fight a triceratops for the last cupcake.
I meant more like home makeover type of dreams.
Oh, okay. I just got the dinosaur thing.
Get the windows that can completely change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
Hey everyone, it's Berm here. The weird part isn't that I'm down 27 pounds in 4 weeks. It's how normal this feels. I'm not starving. I feel great. My belt's 3 notches tighter and I'm enjoying the process. That's Awaken 180. That's Awaken180weightloss.com.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them, safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together, all of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Join Rothman and Ice every Thursday at 2:30 for Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A new Hall of Famer joins the show every week, but not OJ because he's dead and probably a murderer. The Fan.
We got a higher home appraisal after we put away our African art and family photos.
Has this happened to you because of race or national origin? Contact HUD at hud.gov/fair housing. A message from HUD and the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We will see scattered rain and snow showers on and off throughout the day today. Otherwise, cloudy skies and highs soaring into the upper 30s with breezy winds. For tonight, becoming partly cloudy overnight with lows down into the 20s. We'll still have gusty winds that will continue into our Thursday. Otherwise, it'll be mostly sunny with our highs right around freezing. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it. Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, we'll continue with the Hey Guys questions as well. One other thing to get to here, crazy press conference in Buffalo. So once the season ends, and not always does ownership have to talk, but sometimes they do. And Terry Pagula had a press conference today with Brandon Beane, who's the general manager in Buffalo, that is staggering in its scope and what it's done, and some of it's already being disproven. One of the kind of big takeaways was this Keon Coleman comment he made about essentially saying that it was Sean McDermott who made that call. Well, people have already found video at the Combine of Brandon Beane talking about Keon Coleman running a 4.57, that will allow us to draft him. So just be careful what you say in these things, because who knows who's going to be able to prove it or disprove it the other way. Go ahead, Vic.
Also, let's not disparage guys that are currently on our roster.
I wonder if he even knows. What you'd think you'd know.
That was what I was wondering. I was like, does he realize he's there or probably not?
It's a great question. It is a great question. John Harbaugh had a press conference yesterday. He's being introduced as a new coach of the Giants. He was asked about the dynamic with Joe Shane, who's the remaining general manager there. To me, it's really not important in the big picture, in the big scheme of thing. I think it's kind of overblown in terms of how it works. The main thing is that it works and we work together. That's kind of what I used to and felt like in a good way to start off. I think we're all going to work together. I promise you, we all report to the boss and the boss is ownership. Yeah, but if you're John Harbaugh, you're getting all of it. You're getting all of it. You're answering to nobody except ownership. He's answering to the Mara family. That's it. That's the list. He has that type of cachet. I was surprised by some of these contracts and numbers. Like John Harbaugh getting 5 years, $100 million. Okay, that makes sense. Stefanski getting 5 years, $75. Jeff Hafley getting 5 years, $52. Saleh getting 5 years. NFL coaching contracts used to be 3 to 4 years, guys. Like this is now 5. This is like college contracts that these guys are getting.
Yeah, it's strange with the Harbaugh thing because $20 million a year isn't for the collaborative process, Coach.
No.
Like, it's not bringing a guy in so he can work well with others. It's bringing the guy in so he has full control over things. Almost similarly with Stefanski and maybe Hafley to a lesser extent. Like that kind of money, you're not throwing it there so the guy can take feedback. You're there so the guy can come in and fix things.
Also, like John Harbaugh, I understand a bidding war with a guy like that, somebody who has had such a great winning percentage and has won a Super Bowl. What's the difference between Kevin Stefanski or Mike McDaniel or, any of these guys? A Clint Kubiak, I know he hasn't been a head coach, but what's the difference between any of these guys? Who needs to go out? Somebody was going to outbid you for Jeff Hafley?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand.
It's why it's a very college thing. I mean, this happens in college all the time. Like they randomly give coaches raises for no reason. Like we got to restructure his deal and add 6 more years to it because Jimmy Sexton said so.
Do we?
Why? Like, isn't he paid to do this? Isn't this the job? Somebody said something yesterday that made a lot of sense, that we're to the point in the NFL where unless you are one of the 2 teams in the Super Bowl, your season's a failure. And I don't know that used to be the case. There used to be a lot more patience. There used to be a situation where you would have a job for a decade. I mean, there are all sorts of examples. Marty Schottenheimer had a couple of stints like this. Chuck Knox had a long stint in Seattle, didn't win anything, but kept the job for a long, long time.
I don't think it's just the NFL. It's sports in general. I mean, look around here. If Ohio State doesn't win the national championship, it's a failure. Got to figure out what went wrong. What do we got to fix? And It's kind of everywhere, too. If you don't make the college football playoff, you're fired.
Yeah. The good news for all these folks is they'll see every penny of that. Kevin Stefanski will see every penny of $75 million. Every penny.
Good
will go
for
to him.
him.
Jeff Hafley, every penny of $52.5. Talk about a gamble.
Very.
Goes from here to head coach at Boston College, sees kind of the writing on the wall, goes to Green Bay to be defensive coordinator, and now it paid off in the biggest way possible. He's coaching an iconic operation, an iconic brand anyway, and I think the Dolphins are an iconic brand, and he's getting $52 million that he's going to see every penny of.
If it doesn't work, do you just throw Troy Aikman under the bus? Well, Troy wanted him. That Troy's an idiot.
Kids, work on your interview skills growing up. That's all I know.
Yeah. Got some more hey guys, fellas?
We sure do. This from trying to remember it here. This is Phil M in the YouTube chat. Hey guys, when they make the movie on the Indiana Hoosiers, who are you casting to play Kurt Signetti and Fernando Mendoza?
Okay. I don't know my young actors well.
I said Jacob Elordi for Mendoza because he's tall and handsome.
He's Australian too, right?
Yeah, but he can do an accent.
No, for sure.
He's on like a robot. It's easy.
He's on that show I'm terrified of, that Euphoria. I can't. I watched one episode of that and I said, nope, can't do that. Not with kids coming up.
This wouldn't be politically correct, but Samuel L. Jackson could play Kurt Signetti.
I'll tell you what, Billy Bob Thornton could do it. He doesn't have a resemblance, but if he could just do the landman thing where he acts like he knows everything all the time and is always right, he could do that pretty easily. He could bark at people, Google me and all that. I mean, that'd be right out of central casting for him.
So I think there's only one right answer for Kurt Signetti, and that's Bryan Cranston. I think Cranston
could
could
Walter White in him.
I think it could nail the looks and the cockiness and all of it. So I think that's perfect. And this is not fair at all to Fernando Mendoza, not one bit. But every time I see Fernando Mendoza, I just think of DJ Qualls, the kid in Road Trip, who's like the dorky kid, real skinny. Like, that's all I can think of when I see Fernando Mendoza is DJ Qualls. I don't care who plays who in this thing. I just need Bo Bishop, the narrator of the movie. That's what I need in this.
Terrifying. The reality of oh my God.
Google me
No.
the 30 for 30 on Indiana football.
No, I'm busy that week. I
it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
It's a good working title. Chris asks in the YouTube chat, hey guys, first time going on vacation during school spring break. Airline prices are $4K for a family of 4. He asks, what's the price you drive to vacation, and what's the distance limit? He notes, I'm staring down a 13-hour drive.
Well, I know this world, and it's criminal what they do. There should be some regulation on it that in terms of what they do, but this is free market, and so people are obviously paying it. It's the same thing on my theory with hotel rooms, how they're just not making as many available, and they're charging more and not having as much staff to clean them, and that's how it's all working. So a lot of this stuff is just supply and demand, and demand's outrageous, and so they're going to be able to charge whatever they want for this thing. So my feeling, I have been able to me, 8 to 12 hours. 8 is the sweet spot. So 6 or less I drive. So that's like all summer when I do the lacrosse trips. 6 or less I drive. 8 is on the edge of how much I can tolerate with a family of 5. 12 feels like a breakup. So what I mean by that is that's 12 to 14 is I'm going halfway. So now my vacation becomes another hotel before I get to the ultimate destination, because you can't do. I know people do it, and as the kids have gotten older, we probably could. But for them, it's basically 12 hours. If we were to go straight through, that's 12 hours staring at a phone. Is what that result is what that's going to go, and there's no winners in that at all. So I think 8 or less is a home run. Unfortunately, well, from here you can get. Like, how far to Destin from here? Although it's not guaranteed it's going to be warm in March. But you can get to all the South Carolinas and well under that. So that's probably the spot that you could get to.
So,
I think it's 12. I think 12 feels
to Destin.
That's a choice, right? Isn't it 12 to Destin?
Pretty close, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So growing up as a kid, we drove everywhere because my mom would not fly. So driving doesn't bother me at all. And then right out of high school, working with my dad, we had to have our tools when we were traveling around doing jobs at different malls. So we drove everywhere for that too. So no amount of time in a car really bothers me. It's awesome getting on a plane and being in Florida in 2 hours when we go every year. But I've also driven the 13 hours to Daytona, and I'll just do it overnight. When there's no traffic, it doesn't bother me. So the convenience of flying is awesome, but I understand it's expensive for families sometimes. Yeah. So the driving part doesn't bother me at all. So I'm not great on this one.
Look, and it says 16 hours to Destin.
Oh my God.
You can do it quicker.
I'm sure. But
that feels not right to me.
I got another one off the YouTube chat. Mac asks, hey guys, who's on your Mount Rushmore of 80s, 90s action stars? His is Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson, and Harrison Ford.
I don't really consider Harrison Ford an action star. I think he's more of like a thriller star. So Stallone and Schwarzenegger are the no-brainers. They fought a battle for the Action Star Heavyweight Championship for the better part of 15 years. I love them both. I think Arnold in rewatching is more fun. Sly is a little bit more serious. I'm one of the rare guys who prefers Rambo to Rocky too. So there's that part of it. But I think those two are the no-brainers. And I think Bruce Willis has got to be on it for the diehards. I mean, he's just unbelievable in Die Hard. And then guilty pleasure, and I mean that in every sense of the word, because he's one of the most despicable humans ever. You give me Steven Seagal, and I'm probably in too. Come on, Under Siege. There's so many great ones from him, and he's the worst human ever. Really, honestly, maybe one of the worst humans ever. His movies were just a delight, though.
It's interesting because I was thinking Bruce Willis. I was thinking Steven Seagal, and guys who aren't on there. I think I could probably keep Harrison Ford in there as well.
I would for Indiana Jones.
Could we throw, just for the fun of it, could we throw Jackie Chan too? I don't know how many action movies, but he always did action in his movies, right?
Always.
He did them.
Harrison Ford was he's the biggest star on the planet. I don't think of him. I mean, I guess Star Wars and Indiana Jones are action movies, but they're also they don't feel like action movies to me, even though they're nonstop action. There's a higher level of quality to them. When I think action movies, I think of the absurdity of Commando, right? Or what's the crazy one that Stallone's in, where there's the gang in Los Angeles and
Cobra?
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's a little different, cinematically, that Cobra and The Fugitive or Cobra and Air Force One.
Yeah, but I can't compare those.
I'd put Ford
Marion
up there.
Cobretti.
Nick Cage also, because in the 90s, he had Con Air, The Rock, and Face Off.
I can't do Nick Cage movies.
That's a pretty good trilogy for him, though.
It's a good decade.
The Rock, Con Air, and Face Off.
Face Off, yeah.
That's pretty good. Those three were all classics. Adam Jardy's going to join us in 2 minutes. We'll ask him who's on his 80s, 90s action movie, Mount Rushmore. That's coming up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Finding great candidates to hire can be trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Columbus, are you hungry? Well, it's a good thing Uber Eats has the best deals at all your favorite local restaurants. Like this great deal at El Vaquero. From now until March 31st, you can get a buy one, get one free quesadilla deal, all on the Uber Eats app. That's good for me, but I need to figure out what everybody else is going to eat. So next time you're craving a great meal, don't overthink it. Just get on the Uber Eats app and save big with a great deal. Order now only on Uber Eats. Terms apply. See app for details.
Enough already.
We can do more.
Enough already. We can find a cure.
Enough already.
We can do better for our kids.
Enough already. We are relying on you.
We can come together to support Children's Cancer Research Fund, a national nonprofit dedicated to ending childhood cancer that is on the front line of breakthroughs. Because
it's enough already.
Go to childrenscancer.org today.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time to on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Good buddy Adam Jardy covers the basketball team at the Dispatch. He joins us there. You'll be pleased to know that I'm watching the game last night with my 14-year-old. He starts singing Wonderwall, knows the whole song, then goes from that into One Headlight into Santa Monica. And I'm like, wow. Dude, how do you have, and he just saying all of them. I'm like, where is this coming from? Instagram. Okay. Fair.
There's
God
hope.
Bless you.
There's hope for the next generation.
There's hope, buddy. There's absolutely hope. Hey, speaking of hope, I said this after watching the game on Saturday, and it continued to a certain extent last night. I have a feeling what we saw Saturday is what Jake envisioned for this team. Maybe he thought the depth would be a little bit better than it is, but in terms of style of play, stars being stars, felt like that's probably what he saw in his head when he put this thing together. You're there every day. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I think that's a great read on it. Those were the John Mobley, Devin Royal, Bruce Thornton. Those were the three guys they prioritized. Those were the three guys that everything on this team was built around. All the guys they brought in were supposed to complement those guys and help them, play like they played against UCLA. And I thought it wasn't just that all three of them were in the 20s. I mean, I think they combined for 71 points in that game, and they've done that before. They did that twice last season, but they were all really efficient in doing it. Each one of them shot better than 50% in that game, and they just seemed to have control of it. I mean, that was Ohio State essentially led from tip to final whistle, and they were able to assert themselves on the Bruins in a way they really haven't, for that long of a game or that long of a stretch this season. So I think certainly that's where it starts with this team. If you have those three clicking and complementing each other, playing together like that, it shows there is a high ceiling for where this team can get for sure.
Yeah, and the Mobley part of it is probably at the center of it, right? Because I know you know this, and you and I talked about this years ago, like even Holtman in the initial recruiting of him, like they viewed him almost as a college basketball Steph Curry, that he was that type of shooting talent. And we've seen it the last couple of games, saw it again last night. Is this level of play sustainable for him?
It's starting to become that, yes. I mean, he's not immune to, an off night here and there. And I think, we just have to go back 3 games. They lose at Washington, and it's not just his fault. I mean, Christoph Tilley gets hurt, and they're shorthanded and everything. But, I mean, he had 3 points and 3 turnovers in that game at Washington. And it was a rough, all-around kind of decision-making game for him. But that's been the exception. 26 last night, 28 against UCLA. He's been in double figures every game since the Illinois game. Like he's starting to come into his own a bit, and it's not just the scoring. I mean, certainly, you're gonna take any night where he is 50% or better from 3, and he's making 5 and 6 a night. But he's distributing the ball. I thought he looked like last night. He looked just more comfortable, more calm, more poised. And this is now multiple games that he's been able to do that. I thought his response from that Washington loss, I think tells us that there is more to him than what we saw last year, and he's starting to settle into some of those high level expectations they have.
You just got me thinking about, you mentioned the Washington loss and the trip out there to Eugene and Seattle, and Mick Cronin had some comments. By the way, apparently to him, the Big Ten hijacked UCLA. UCLA had no say in it. But just in terms of, we're now 2 years into this with these big travel west. How are they managing it? And it is in terms of you talk to the coaches, guys, and just kind of how it's happening. How is it going for us when we go west?
It's going pretty well, really. I mean, it's not too, I don't think, jarring for a team to head out west, play 2 games in 5 or 6 days, and then fly back and have a couple of days off. I don't think it's had an appreciable effect on the Buckeyes. I did think they ran out of steam a little bit at Washington in the second half of that game, but it was also their 4th game in 9 days, and 3 of them were on the road, and one of them was at Rutgers. So they were crisscrossing the country, and I think that had an impact a little bit. So I don't think it's been too bad overall, though. Like for the East Coast teams that have to go out west, I mean, you get to go take a 6-day road trip, go play 2 games, come home. Mm-hmm. I do feel for Mick Cronin a bit. I mean, you look at UCLA's schedule to open this year. I mean, I've decided I need to start picking all the West Coast teams one spot lower in my preseason rankings, because they went to Iowa, Wisconsin, came home, played Maryland, and then went to Penn State and Ohio State. They did all that in 14 days. I mean, That is brutal. And I do feel for the teams out west that this is the new norm. This is what the situation they've been put in. It's tough. It's tough, and it is what it is. But I do think there's some. Mick has he likes to gripe, and he has plenty of things to gripe about. I think this is one of the more reasonable ones.
It's justified for sure. It's justified, but he can thank his athletic director, who they needed the money, and it's all about football, and so. It is what it is. There's no real way around it. One of the things that has been glaring with this roster, obviously, is the lack of depth. But last night, for example, you saw Colin White get 19. Nagovin got you 16. Cupps has been a constant, but it was kind of just him and then the 5. We'll get into the Puffy Johnson stuff in a second, but just in terms of, is there depth starting? Is that a silver lining in addition to the win, that maybe there is a little more to this bench that Jake can trust?
I think we saw it last night for sure. And I do think it's still kind of hit and miss. I didn't think that the bench necessarily had a major role in that UCLA win because the big three did big three things and took care of that game. But I mean, certainly, you get 9 rebounds from Ivan Yagovin off the bench. And I thought Colin White, I mean, you look at his stat line, 2 points, 2 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. But that steal and then that score at the other end, was the game clincher. And all of his rebounds were offensive. He had 2, there were at least 2 team rebounds that he was directly responsible for in the offensive end, where he was able to get a tip that kept the possession for them when it went out of bounds. If he can, I don't know, what the optimal level Colin White production on a nightly basis is, but if he's in there and getting them a couple of boards and extending some possessions and getting them a bucket or two, I don't think that's asking too much, and that went a long way last night.
Yeah, it certainly did. What can you tell our audience about the Puff Johnson situation and just kind of what's the plan there and what's the ultimate resolution with it?
So the plan is to get him up and running as soon as possible. I mean, I guess at this point he's probably not ruled out for the Michigan game. We'll see how these next 48 hours go. Jake Diebler said that last night, that'll be kind of critical. He's game shape is different than being in shape, working out on your own. And he hasn't played organized basketball since, I don't know, the spring, maybe the summer. So there's a process there. I think it's going to take some time, but certainly when he's available, that's a guy that can help them. I mean, he's got size, he's got experience. I mean, he's 25. He's 6'8", 200. He's played in a national championship game, has played in some big time high level games in the ACC and the Big Ten. And certainly you think about adding him to a rotation and not saying, hey, you got to go give us, 20 minutes a night and go get 10 and 5. But if he can give him 10 minutes a game and Diebler has raved about his defense. He's capable of stealing and he's got stuff that this team needs. And I think to have someone like that coming off your bench that, again, you're not asking him to go out and win the game for you, but just contribute and be solid. I think that's reasonable to expect from him. And, do we see him this weekend? Do we see him next week when, ironically, Penn State comes to town?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they'd like it to be sooner rather than later. But he also does have a pretty extensive injury history, so I think you got to be a little cautious there too.
All right, I'll get you out of here on this one. Big one on Friday, the 8:00 slot on Fox. I've watched these games. I like them. I watched Kansas, Iowa State, looking for something. It was there. It was a great game. I kind of like the big platform that you get with this matchup on Friday night up in Ann Arbor. Of course, the opponent is brutal. What is the roadmap for Ohio State springing the upset up there?
Well, I think you got to make some threes. That was one thing that when Wisconsin took the Wolverines down, the Badgers were able to do that. They're able to just make shots and trade buckets and kind of withstand the pressure and the push that Michigan can give you. And it is interesting looking at the Wolverines. I was just this morning on this one website where you can sort the data based on specific time periods during the season. So it's not just how has this team been all year, but since this date to this date, how is this team playing? And so I went back and I looked starting with for Michigan, going back to January 6th, which was when they played their first close Big Ten game because they were just scorched earth on everybody for the first 2 months. But from January 6th until now, Michigan has played as the 17th best team in the country, which is still really good. But Ohio State's played as the 24th best team in the country. So if you go back, and that's since the Nebraska loss at home, but these teams are playing, they're not separated by a whole lot based on the analytics. And so I think if you're Ohio State, you have to go in there and do the things that have made you successful recently. For the most part, take care of the ball. You got to hit the glass. You got to bring physicality and aggressiveness. They've been better getting to 50-50 balls, and they're going to have to make some shots. And so I think it probably starts and ends with that one. If it's not falling from three, it might become a long night up there in Ann Arbor, but we've seen weird things happen in this rivalry, and I'm really excited to see what that atmosphere is like on Friday and to see, that would be a massive statement for Ohio State. And I do think the pressure's off because you won these last 2 games. You go up there, and if you can spring the upset, that's great, but you don't necessarily you want to win. You don't necessarily need this game now to turn your season around, and I think that's a very different approach.
I couldn't agree with you more, buddy. Great stuff as always. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Bo. Great to hear from you.
There he is. Adam Jardy covers the basketball Bucks at the Dispatch. Think about going from Bob Baptist to Jardy. That is just A-list stuff that the Dispatch did from a basketball beat perspective to have those 2 guys consecutively. Get your officially endorsed in 3 things coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com. And your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer, and Wegmans.
Did you know that 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February? And did you know there's a good chance it's just hormones? Hi, I'm Evan Bass, founder of the Columbus Men's Clinic, and I started this clinic a decade ago to take care of men. If your testosterone is low, then motivation, energy, and drive often follow too. And keeping resolutions can feel like walking through mud, and even more so as we age. ED and low T tend to get worse if untreated. And guys, you're not alone. Your physician-led support team at the Columbus Men's Clinic has your back. For years, we've effectively treated ED and low T comprehensively and with proven treatments dialed in just for you. With same-day booking, you can meet our passionate medical team, and by this afternoon, you'll leave with a plan that's designed to be sustainable for life. The number one thing we hear guys say is, I forgot how I used to feel. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and crush this new year. Call my team right now and let us treat you to an unforgettable experience. Dial 614-300-7400 or go to ColumbusMen'sClinic.com. That's ColumbusMen'sClinic.com.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Baths R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued, Baths R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate, or go to bathsrus.com. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Back in the day, if you wanted to listen to the Fan, you turned on the radio, and that was the end of the story. But now, oh baby, stream us live on the Fan app, TuneIn app, iHeart app, we're everywhere. The Fan, Ohio's streaming destination.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers. Through CPR education and access to AEDs, nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
Don't start the new year with the same old ride. Right now, score low lease payments on all 2026 models, like $149 a month for a brand new Elantra or $159 for a new Sonata. Hurry in and kick off the new year right. Columbus or Dublin or glakeshyundai.com. With proof credit $39.95 down plus tax, title, and fees. 2-year lease with 10K miles per year. New Hyundais come equipped with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Ends 2-2.
I take care of the kids, my dad, things at work, but I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression. Go to mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, the Fan. Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, before we get to your officially endorsed and 3 things on this first Friday, we've got a poll to answer for. How about it, Reese?
Sure do. The Daily Fan Poll asks, where would you rank Ohio State in the way too early top 25 for college football next season? Your options for the Daily Fan Poll are first, 2 through 5, 6 through 10, or outside of the top 10. 65% of respondents say they would rank Ohio State between 2 and 5 in a way too early top 25 poll. 25% say 6 to 10, 5% say number 1, 4% say outside of the top 10.
Yeah.
Which I would love to hear, like, if you want to rank the Buckeyes outside the top 10, who you put in top 10?
I'd like to hear your 10. If you have the Buckeyes 11, who are your 10 before them? I'd like to hear that. All right, time for you officially endorsed. Hit it, guys.
Bishop and Friends present First Friday, officially endorsed, because everyone deserves 2 Fridays.
You drink for the wrong reasons. My generation, we drink because it's good, because it feels better than unbuttoning your collar, because we deserve it. We drink because it's what men do.
All right, so in our pre-show show meeting, Fish had asked me what I was going to go with here, and he said a hot toddy, and I thought, well, I've done versions of that. This is one that I really enjoy, so we're going to go with a warm one to keep you warm in all of these cold temps. This is my warm julep, is kind of what it is. So what I do here is I brew a spearmint tea. So you brew a spearmint tea, and you set that aside. After that's done, you take about 2.5 ounces of the bourbon of your choosing, and you pour that in the glass, or the cup rather, and then you finish it with a tablespoon of honey, and you just stir that honey throughout that process. Get a little bit of a warm up, a little bit of a steam up, and then what you're going to really get is a depth charge, because you're going to go to sleep after this thing. I promise you that. It's night night juice for you if you want it. Don't make it habitual. I wouldn't do this every night, but on a cold first Friday, it'll do the trick for you. So it's a version of kind of a warm or / hot mint julep, spearmint tea, 2.5 ounces of bourbon of your choosing, and then a tablespoon of honey, and away you go. Time for 3 things. Hit it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
All right, number 1 from the Departments of the Corrections Department, Corrections, the Great Snagglepuss. Yes, 12 hours to Destin. That's what I always thought that it was. He does it regularly on the reg, as Kenny Powers would say. So 12 hours from here to Destin. That's your sweet spot. The only thing there, and he can attest to this, you're not necessarily, even at spring break, you're not guaranteed to get 80. I've been there when it's 55, 65 that time of year. Really, the only place in Florida where you're guaranteed like 80 is from Miami to Palm Beach. Like that area, I suppose Key West too, but that's kind of the only spot where you're guaranteed to be pretty damn close to 80 every day.
Speaking of Florida, that's where I'm going tomorrow. The girlfriend and I are going to get out of town for a couple of days. We're going to upgrade to some sunshine. So that'll be nice for a change. The warmer weather will be appreciated as well. You too, the folks listening at home, are going to get some audio sunshine in the form of Joshua Perry.
Oh, baby.
Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. So everybody wins.
The hardest thing for you is going to be on the return when you go below the clouds and you return to just the gray.
I'm just going to enjoy being there first. Like, don't Timmy Hall this. All right? Don't do that.
Never do that. Never do that. First thing for me, Indiana, with their win on Monday night, joined a very select class. One that was smaller than I thought it was. College teams that have won a national championship in football and men's basketball. There's only 11. Arkansas, Michigan, Cal, Florida, Maryland, Michigan State, UCLA, Syracuse, Stanford, of course, our beloved Ohio State, and now the Indiana Hoosiers.
I definitely would have missed Cal, Maryland, and Syracuse. I would have missed those. I think the rest of them I would have gotten as having won both, but I would have missed those two for sure. Number 2 for me, I watched the penultimate episode of Landman last night, so I'm one behind. The season finale aired on Sunday. The storyline is completely incoherent. I mean, just none. I mean, there's no pickup from episode to episode, season to season. It's just utter nonsense. But I will say this for Taylor Sheridan. When you watch one of his, it's just a damn good time. He writes great dialogue. He writes it from emphatic perspectives, and I don't know if it certainly is not great television, but it's enjoyable, and I'll give him some credit for that. And he's turned it into about a $1.5 billion empire. So good job out of him, because there's no way that he knows how any of these stories are going to end when he starts them, but he can still write good scenes.
This is so Miami, runner-up nationally. They lose to Indiana in the national championship game. Now they'll be looking for a quarterback. Darian Mensah from Duke was the portal person I think they most recently picked. Well, this is a statement from Duke Athletics, where Mensah still has a 1-year obligation for a 2-year contract he signed when coming over from Tulane. Quote, Mr. Mensah has an existing contract with Duke, which the university intends to honor, and we expect he will do the same. The court-ordered temporary restraining order issued yesterday ensures he does not violate his contract. The university is committed to supporting all of our student athletes while expecting each of them to abide by their contractual obligations. End quote.
They get a pretty damn good law school. They can fight it. They're one of the ones that can. They got infinite money to fight it if they want. Can you force somebody to play for you?
I love all of these lawsuits in our sports world. They're just amazing. We were talking earlier about Terry Pagula and just stepping in it this morning in this press conference with the Buffalo Bills and the firing of Sean McDermott. I'm still fuming over Jimmy Haslam's comments after they fired Kevin Stefanski and kept Andrew Berry. He's probably thanking Terry Pagula for Browns fans hopefully forgetting about those. I told you, Bo, I'm in the middle of watching America's Team, where it's all about Jerry Jones. A lot of people have complained about the Columbus Blue Jackets and not hearing from ownership. I'm okay with it. You hire people to take care of that. I don't need to hear from owners anymore.
No. It's. Yeah, I think that's probably a bigger topic, but I would probably disagree. I think it's important that they're in charge of these things, and so I think they have the ultimate say on all of it. We're up against it. No time for 3 today. Enjoy your first Friday. Act accordingly. Rothman and Ice coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy.